Hard pass.
And we are switching, and now we are also visible. Amazing. And the chat is taking big space. Let's see what I can do to fix that. We'll do some little adjustments over here before we start. Everything starts with a little bit of fixing.
I mean, it's not a stream if something doesn't break, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Facts.
There we go. Ta-da! And we're gonna...
Yeah, Miranda is chat.
Miranda, you are the chat. You are the chat, Miranda.
Licked.
Licking chat. I love it. There we go. Oh no.
Classy.
I know. Just trying to. This is my coping.
Just random
Getting
things.
addicted to chat.
We love you, chat.
I feel so ghetto. You guys have like beautiful lights and everything.
You missed me struggling with my lighting.
Do you want me to pull down my green screen? I can make you feel more comfortable. I'll put mine up front.
You missed me messing with things for 40 minutes before we started this because my ring light was way too bright, so I had to turn it off.
And now we're all white. Amazing.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey.
And the screen gets wiped.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
No.
Yeah, it's the dark side. They have cookies.
And you just blinded everybody.
Absolutely. You have been blinded.
No, but I used to use a green sheet too on a rack. Like
I think it's the same
I'm
thing.
Very familiar, and I would always notice the crease in my green screen on camera. And be like, I gotta go straighten it now.
I know,
I used
right?
to have a PVC pipe set up I made in my living
Yeah,
room. That
I
was
had
fun
a
to walk around every
PVC
day.
pipe. Yeah, with a green screen hanging off of it.
Yep.
Is the chat too small now? Can you still read it when you're like in full screen?
I can still read it on. I can.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay, cool.
It works.
We're good. We're Gucci.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make my notifications almost non-existent.
Silent, small.
Yeah.
Something.
But thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Welcome to the cat life, but we're serious mixer talk today. Serious mixer time. Okay. Welcome to the show. Today we'll take the time to discuss how we can improve Mixer as a platform, address certain videos and comments that have been directed at Mixer as a platform and Mixer partners in particular, which we have a few of here in the wonderful guest list. If you don't mind introducing yourself, we're going to start with Brofish, top left. Do you mind introducing yourself, Brofish?
I'm Brofish. I've been on Mixer for 2.5 years now. I've been a partner for 2 years. I stream variety. Yeah.
Cool. On the right of me, we have Pfeffinator here.
Also streaming on Mixer for 2.5 years. Partner for 2 years, streaming variety.
Wonderful. And on the bottom, under Brofish, we have Mr. Cabby over here. Would you mind introducing yourself for the audience?
Hey guys, I'm Cabby. I've been around Mixer for quite some time, since Beam. Stream a lot of Battle Royale and variety as well.
Wonderful. And next to Cabby, we have the legendary Ladman.
Hey, legendary Ladman, been on Mixer for probably about 2.5, partnered for going on 1.5 years. I play a lot of variety, mostly Destiny, looter shooters, that kind of good thing.
Wonderful. And next to legendary Ladman, we have Miranda Pings.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I've been on Mixer for 2.5 years now. I'm a variety streamer and Warzone addict. So
yeah, she'll shoot you in the head. Don't give her the opportunity. Wonderful.
that's it.
Let me get my docs up.
And you, Kat?
Me, Kat.
What about you?
Me, Kat. I am the wonderful host of the show today who invited you here to have this wonderful talk. And we'll be going to things that I want to learn for myself, as well as I feel that it's something that people outside of Mixer as well as Mixer audience wants to learn for themselves. I've been streaming on Mixer for about 7 months now, so I'm still a baby. I'm a baby. Woo. And I am the only person here that is not a Mixer partner. So there may be things that you guys know that I don't know, obviously. And I don't want you to go into NDA territory. I want everyone to stay safe and look after themselves. But the purpose of the talk is that we discuss this in a constructive way where we can learn from each other, as well as show people what we think of the platform, what we think of the platform's good and bad sides are, and how we can make it better for everyone.
Right.
Now, time for the wonderful discussion notes. Just 2 pages of notes. The things that we'll be discussing in this video cover some videos, like Harris Heller's video on which platform to stream on. I believe the video is actually called... Googling it. It is called Twitch versus YouTube versus Mixer versus Facebook, in which he said Mixer streamers are afraid to call out Mixer because you don't want your platform to die. That is a direct quote from the video, and we'll be addressing that. And this is kind of the reason why we are addressing it now, because we're not afraid for the platform to die. And another video that we'll be covering in here is actually a VOD from Shroud's stream, where he shared that he doesn't know what the future for Mixer is. He doesn't know what the future plans are, because the plans were all very real life based, and convention and advertisement in real life that have been all kind of taken away from us by COVID. And that is another thing that we'll be discussing. That is pretty much all of the references that I have. Everything else is kind of discussions that we can get into as we answer the hot topics. And I'm sure that we'll be going back and forth between the stream elements and Arsenal statistics that Mixer has grown 0.2% in the last year. Or I believe they say the last year, but it's actually, when you look at the statistics, it's for March to April 2020. So first and foremost, I'm not 100% a believer of what that the statistic is correct, considering all the accounts that have been taken that were 24/7 accounts, which was a recent addition that they removed. So that would have affected the statistic perhaps, but what are your thoughts on the numbers? Do you think these numbers are real? Do you think they're somehow incorrect?
So, I saw a different report actually yesterday, which states that the March to April growth of Mixer was actually 14%.
And how did I come to that? What is the source of that?
Where was that report?
I don't 100% know. I did see a picture. So the year over year is what people are citing as 0.2, but March to April, I saw a different report that said March to April was 14%.
Like between March and between April
of this year, like because of
like
COVID,
a 1 month,
basically, like because of quarantine, the traffic of the platform went up by 14%, which I do feel like is a number that people aren't discussing.
Yeah, Mr. Noob Sniper in chat is saying that he'll find that report. I personally think that there are, from my perspective as a non-partner, as someone who has been observing the platform and is very passionate about numbers and analytics, I think there is a severe issue in the API itself and how numbers are being calculated, because they are inconsistent as fuck, basically. What are your thoughts on that?
So I don't know about severe issue, but I have heard, and none of this has been from any official source, so I don't know how true it is. I've just heard basically people who create programs that have tried to integrate with Mixer have said that the API is difficult compared to other places, and it's hard to get permission to pull information. I don't know if that can play into how reliable the numbers are or not, but I have heard that time and time again. So
interesting.
I don't know.
We have the statistics. Streaming is on the rise month over month. So the month over month statistic is that Mixer has grown 15% on the month over month.
Right.
So that means from March to April, the growth has been 15%, is what that statistic says. And it's from the exact same source as the 0.2%.
Mm.
It's
Okay,
just that
that's
it's a
chat.
different.
So like year over year, Mixer grew 0.2, but
Yep.
from March to April, they grew 15%,
Yep.
which is actually just behind YouTube Gaming's 14%, or just ahead of, sorry. So like, I do feel like people aren't they're taking that 0.2%, and while it is worrying, they're taking it out of context.
Absolutely.
And you do see that month over month, all the platforms grew because of COVID, as expected with people being home.
Yep.
And as expected with all of this. You know, Twitch grew 50 to 48% is what they say. Industry growth was 45%, and Facebook gaming grew 72% during just March to April.
Yes.
But the 0.2% is the year over year.
Yep.
So
And I think it is
I think
a
people
little
are
bit.
misunderstanding.
It is definitely misunderstood, but you also have to keep in mind what happened in the past year on Mixer, which is all the removal of the Sparks farm, all the removal of the follow for follow, and 24/7 channels.
Mention that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's doubting that probably dropped the numbers on the platform quite significantly when those were pulled the plug on. Because that was, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, Cabby, but probably thousands of viewers.
Yeah, so there's a huge stigma when it comes to Mixer's reputation for previously having a lot of spark farms and stuff like that, based off of the initial idea to establish a lot of views through partnering with like Forza, for example, and Paladins and whatnot. Everybody knows, right? And especially after they really listened to the community and put the axe on that, that would definitely impact those numbers. And those numbers are all about how they're communicated on social. So if Streamlabs or Stream Elements releases a report, people will retweet that and then they'll put their own little flair to it, for example,
Yeah.
right? And then that gets trending. And so there's a lot of misconstrued information. Growth is really growth no matter the platform. That's what's important. But in our case, because we're like one of the smallest platforms, those numbers don't compare to the other giants right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to discuss that is relevant to this is the initial idea for monetization of Sparks and how that was undoubtedly the worst decision that Mixer has made as a platform. Would you agree?
No.
No? All right.
Nope.
I want to hear
I don't think it was the best decision they made, but I also don't think it's the worst decision they've ever made.
We're talking
Alright.
about like money when Sparks had a direct cash monetary gain.
I think that steps probably could have been taken to foresee that stuff like that could have been abused, but I think at the end of the day, there's also only so much that you can do to prevent a system like that from being abused. And I think we as partners knew that was never going to be sustainable forever.
Yeah.
I hope, like, I'm sure there were partners who thought it would last forever, but I think a lot of partners realistically thought, okay, I don't know if this is sustainable or not.
But surely
I don't
that
think
were
the problem.
But we're going
It's
to
an
enjoy it while it
incentive.
lasts. Yeah,
was an incentive.
It's an incentive. It's a bonus.
Bonus.
It said cash bonus on it the whole time. It was labeled as a bonus,
But surely a lot of partners would have seen that as an opportunity to get real big cash quickly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'm sure, but the ditch they fell into with that is they relied on it too much, and then when they became too much of I can rely on this, it became too much as they didn't think of it as this could potentially go away.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
were
I
like,
don't think it was a
I can
bad.
live off this. This is great. I can just do this and switch to full time. There was a lot of people that were
That went
quote
full
unquote
time.
part time that
so
weren't
many.
full time content creators that were like, I could just quit my job. I'll do this. This is great. This
Just-
works. And
Just
then
a few
it went
months
away.
after that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the
Um,
August when they got taken away, it was like
Yep.
And then they
Or
got
not
really
taken
mad at
away,
the
but,
platform
like,
taken
changed
away,
it.
but it was never, like you guys said, it was an incentive. It was out there as this is extra. You should be responsible enough to know that was extra and not make it something reliable. And some people didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. To me, that is very much the same as buying followers. You get an initial growth, but then in the long run, you suffer like a decrease. It goes like a one spike, and then the analytics page goes like.
Yeah, I think it is worth mentioning though that the Spark farming culture did have a not so great impact on Mixer. I don't think that Sparks inherently had a negative impact, but I think the 24/7 farming culture did create some of those channels. And that is an unintended consequence of what happens when people see partners like pushing 24/7 farming. They're like, hey guys, go farm your sparks, go do this, go farm here, go farm there. And they listen to the partners that are telling them to go farm these things. And eventually there are people who are going to take that in a good way and do it to help their partners. But there are also people that are going to take it and use it for other gains. And that's why we saw the emergence of follow for follow 24/7 streams.
And why like that also could have been problematic at the time, like when they introduced these spark incentives and like the spark farming started to be a thing, like the growth probably looked good back then, and then looking back in retrospect now, but like think about it, how many people did take advantage of that, make new accounts, use those accounts to like, so you have one person owning like 2 or 3 accounts, so like that is kind of boosting the numbers, then for this to go away and then they stop having a reason to use those accounts to sit in people's channels and lurk, even if they're not being like active. So I kind of get now, because there's a lot of people saying, well, you can't really factor in the farming, like the farming channels. But I would say that you can when you compare it from then to now, like numbers wise too.
Because the numbers did boost. Channel 1 used to have 6,000 people actively chatting in it.
Yeah.
Channel 1 used to have, and it may not have been 6,000 people actively chatting, but there were 6,000 people watching Channel 1 farming their sparks. There were people talking in there 24/7. Now you get a Channel 1 host and it's dead silent. Like there's like you can say hi to Channel 1, but generally speaking, even if I say hi and I'm like, how are you guys doing? It's very much a non-engaged host now. Channel 1 has gone from being this engaged way to meet new partners, and that's what I've always encouraged people to do with it. Like, is go check out Channel 1. You might find a partner you never knew existed. I've met regulars through Channel 1, but I think it is interesting to point out that Channel 1 has changed significantly from the launch of Season 2 to what it is now.
And when it comes to empty numbers, I would like to touch on that, because in the past few months, we've all noticed numbers raising, but not engagement raising. And I believe that's something that you, Cabby, mentioned on your Twitter as well. I find it quite interesting. I've been looking into it myself, and there's a very big discrepancies between view count on people's streams and actual people in the view list, which I would like to state at first as well that a lurker on Mixer is not like a lurker on Twitch. Like on Mixer, even if you have the stream paused or even if you have the stream muted, you still count as a view. I would like to preface with that and see what your thoughts are on these inflated numbers. Do you think that it's an embed somewhere on the Microsoft website? It's Xbox people, which it's a big discrepancy. We're talking about hundreds of people not appearing on view list.
And it makes me wonder if it's also just Mixer's API. Like it could be any number of things. Like I think we just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question about that. I don't really know how hosting and auto hosting and like whether that they show up in your viewer list or not. Like auto hosting is a big thing right now. Okay, I was wondering, like the numbers do carry over when you auto host or when you host somebody. It does help a lot with the view count. You know, especially depending on who hosts you. So, but does that always translate to those viewers actually showing up in your personal viewer like channel list?
No, it usually doesn't.
It usually doesn't.
It usually doesn't.
For my own personal experience, it
I
doesn't.
see it sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
It's
I see it
inconsistent.
sometimes too.
It's
yeah.
inconsistent.
I've seen it sometimes. But like I've also seen the bad of it too. I had a friend who used to host me, and then he eventually moved to Twitch. But I realized that his auto host came with 40 lurkers. And those 40 lurkers weren't talking. And I noticed that was... It may have been helping my channel, like, viewership, like, numbers-wise, but it wasn't helping the engagement.
Yep.
And I thought my numbers... I didn't realize, because I have auto host messages turned off. And I didn't realize for months that wasn't actually people watching me, that was people from his host. And then obviously when he left Mixer, he stopped hosting because he's not on Mixer anymore. But the I noticed it immediately. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it just, Yeah, it makes me wonder how that stuff's counting because
And as a streamer, it is so important for you to know what is the real engagement, what is the real number. These are statistics that help you grow and understand your audience and your like reach as a person. Because, you know, imagine that a brand comes to you and wants to make a brand deal, and they'll ask you, you know, what is your concurrent viewership and how many people do you think are going to buy this product that we're selling. You're going to give them a number, and if that number is unrealistic and it's like, yeah, I have 600 viewers concurrent, but only one of them bought that chair that we're selling, that's a little bit like there's a big discrepancy there, and it makes you look unprofessional. It makes the whole platform look unprofessional. I'm saying that nobody benefits from this.
Yeah, I think if there was one thing I could change about Mixer, it would be the way that all of the statistics around the website are counted. I think that in general, the whole industry as a whole needs to have certain standards of what is counted as a view, how long, yes, the same standards, or at least, and I think that the people that are working with the influencers need to be aware of these standards as well, because without these, I mean, so just the same standards all around. If someone's not active in a window, if it's for 30 minutes, an hour, or if it's muted, or, you know, these things need, I want to be taken seriously. And I feel like if that was implemented, we would all have more respect as influencers.
Yeah. All right. Another.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, I think Fifinator's right in that aspect. There's no real clarification because there's the system is in so much of a work in progress and experimentation, like the different hosting tabs and whatnot between chat, and the integration between like Xbox versus like mobile versus on PC. So there's a lot of things that are not like really standardized yet, just because of, a couple weeks ago, we've seen a lot of inflated hosts because of things that were being tested, and you're gonna expect a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, in general, I do agree that clarification being the key word to really making it accurate for streamers to understand who their community is, who's there. Being able to physically check if they wanted to each and everybody on the view list, right? And it being accurate.
Yeah.
Yep. And to further the core of this issue, why do you think they decided to make the investment into bringing people like Shroud and Ninja instead of bringing that investment to getting more engineers to make the platform a better place?
Established streamer communities. Established streamer communities are already exist. They make a bulk of the viewership, especially on Twitch and whatnot. If you look at like what streamers are doing on like Facebook, for example, Facebook's is an established social media platform.
Yeah.
Never was big on streaming, but they can pull in massive amounts of numbers. They can pull in massive amounts of views, actual views, because of their like carousel style video to live stream, kind of mechanics there. And for people like Shroud and for people like Ninja, Microsoft knows how to do one thing, and that's they know that they have money. They know that they can that they need visibility of the platform, so they definitely need heavy hitters to assist with that.
Yep. Would you say, I have no statistics on this and I wish I did, but would you say that a lot of the communities that came with Ninja and Shroud have explored Mixer further as a platform and can now be found as regulars on other people's streams?
I think it's a great example of core viewership. They don't feel the numbers they do, for example, on Twitch, but the averages you see with them is a very, very dedicated and core viewership.
Yeah.
Something that Mixer is really well known for is is its engagement comparatively to massive numbers. So in my opinion, that's something that's a big takeaway.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Cabby, just in general. So when Ninja came over to Mixer, it was August 1st, 2018 or 2019. Sorry. the first thing, just this is a hypothetical, the first thing that people saw when Ninja came over, because we were still in the midst of the follow for follow 24/7 thing, was that people's first impression when they came over to Mixer in that August was Ninja and a bunch of follow for follow channels on the front page. Do you think if Mixer had taken action against those follow for follow channels months earlier, and those weren't there when Ninja came over, that Ninja's move would have been arguably more productive or more worthwhile? Because it would have changed people's first impressions of the platform, and we can't get those first impressions back.
100%.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. And it doesn't like I don't think Mixer was ready for it, to be perfectly honest.
That's what I think too. And I was wondering how other people thought.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the biggest things that people complain about is just a myriad of issues that's already existed in the first place that further reinforces the fact that Mixer wasn't ready. Stability, stability, viewership stability, quality of life just isn't there. It's still and it's still not there. It's such a heavy work in progress that all you could do is try to work through it, right? You put your faith into the platform, you put your faith into your community, your channel, you build up your brand, and then this is the tools that you have. And it's tough to work through that. When Shroud and Ninja came over, it definitely didn't help. The inconsistencies post their move definitely has not helped with retention. So yeah, that 100% plays into account.
And I'm glad to hear that I'm not one of the few people that thought that, because I thought for a long time that it was that I was like,
it's fact. Yeah,
it's fact. And I think this ties into I think we have to address the facts in the room. You know what I mean? I think on Mixer, and this is just what I've seen with social media in the past few weeks, is you can say, oh, we have to defend Mixer. And I think that we do have to defend Mixer. I think there's a lot of people that have these opinions that have never tried Mixer, that have their judgments about Mixer. But I think that it's also worthwhile to acknowledge, we have to also acknowledge Mixer's shortcomings to learn where we can go forward. And I think that a lot of the constructive criticisms are being misconstrued as bashing. And it's getting kind of frustrating for me to feel like I'm not being heard because people think that I'm bashing.
That is a subject I want to fall into further.
They're facts.
Yeah, no, Brofish is right though. I mean, that's just people being people on the internet.
Yeah. We'll touch on that a little bit further. Before that, there's a really good comment from Sync in the in chat.
I'm glad you brought that one up.
Bringing Ninja and Shroud was the best money Microsoft could have spent for marketing investment. By spending 20 to 30 minutes approximately, they established the Twitch versus Mixer narrative, which would have normally have taken them hundreds of millions to do organically. And I absolutely
don't think it was only 20 to 30 million. I don't think it was that low.
I absolutely agree that they spend those millions. Let's not go into details about how many millions for PR stunt.
Nobody knows.
We're just guessing.
Yeah,
I think we're allowed to guess.
A PR stunt where even your mom, who's never heard of Twitch before, suddenly knew, oh, this Ninja kid that everyone's talking about moved to Mixer. Did you know? That was the purpose of the Ninja buyout, and I think it served its purpose, but that purpose was not enough.
I want to touch on that too.
On the long term.
That it established a Twitch versus Mixer narrative.
Which is more damaging.
That's a bad thing. I think that a Twitch versus Mixer narrative is a bad thing.
I agree.
I think that it's damaging. I think that platform wars are stupid. Yeah. I think that you should support content creators that you care about regardless of where they stream, because they're people. And this whole Twitch versus Mixer thing,
it's damaging to the smaller platform, which is Mixer.
And to acknowledge that it doesn't happen from both sides is wrong, because it does happen from both sides. Nobody's right in that, and it needs to stop.
If that was an actual war, it wouldn't be a war. It would be a massacre.
It's like console wars. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it going to solve? What's it going to prove? Literally nothing. And it's going to be detrimental to the streaming community and gaming community as a whole.
Yeah.
And going back to previous point about how people people on Mixer, how they react to criticism towards Mixer is kind of what you touched on a little bit. And Harris Heller mentioned that in his video. If you want your platform to survive, you need to be holding them accountable. And he mentioned how every time he speaks up about Mixer and their problems, he's bombarded by people from Mixer, especially partners from Mixer, basically shitting on him and going into the fully defensive. And that's something that I've noticed happens a lot when you talk up about Mixer. People, especially partners, go on the full defensive rather than taking it and as constructive criticism.
Yeah, like I wish we could see defensive Mixer, but also an acknowledgement of those issues.
Yes.
I think do you think they're worried that if they acknowledge, yes, this is happening, but we're working to be better, that he's going to go, see, you acknowledge the issue.
It's like people have this fear
with saying, with being a Mixer partner and saying, hey, Harris, I think you have some good points, but what I didn't see was people going, I see where you're coming from. Because I do see where he's coming from. I don't agree with everything he says, but I see where he's coming from. And I think this mentality of people saying, oh, well, you've never streamed on Mixer, so you don't get to have an opinion thing is kind of like, because at the same time, I could say that there's a lot of Mixer streamers who have never tried Twitch that very much enjoy digging on Twitch all the time. So like, I don't think, like, you can't have it both ways. You have to allow for constructive criticism from other sources, and outside people are allowed to have opinions of Mixer because those are the people that you want to come and watch Mixer. You should be, we can't get more viewers from the viewers we already have, right? So we have to change the opinions of people from the outside, but we also have to do it in a way that doesn't sound like we're only talking about the things on Mixer that we think are good, because we also have to acknowledge the things that aren't good.
Everybody sees through that.
Because people see when you only have one direction of opinion, people see through that.
Yeah,
exactly.
And do you think?
I think that we just need to have better dialogue back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
like,
there has
my
been?
husband's a Twitch partner. I'm a Mixer partner. My husband's a Twitch partner. We have conversations about this all the time, and we haven't killed each other yet.
No, communication is key.
Not yet.
So,
Not
like,
yet.
I think that the hate that people are seeing is more exaggerated than it actually is. I don't think that there's that many people on Twitch that think that Mixer is, awful. And I think it's being
it's the classic children cry the loudest.
Yeah,
it's like the most negative, the most vocal.
And they yell the loudest.
The most heard.
The small troll group is very, very loud and makes it looks bigger.
From what I've seen on Twitch, because I watch a lot of the big Twitch streamers, and every time they speak up about Mixer, it's not something necessarily malicious. It's something that we just don't know yet. It's such a small thing that it hasn't developed yet for us to see it as a competition, which is absolutely correct considering that Mixer is 4% of what Twitch is. And I do think that Microsoft as a platform wants to grab people not from Twitch necessarily, because Twitch already has an established audience. So what they're trying to achieve, especially with people like Ninja, is bring people that don't necessarily already watch streams to come and watch streams. Would you agree with that? Yeah. And when it comes, there was a comment about, let me just find it. Competition isn't bad, however, being loud doesn't create competition. Being a good platform with unique features does promote competition. And that brings me to a topic of which features do you think Mixer has that are competitive, makes it competitive and unique? The only thing that I can think of on the top of my head is the FTL feature, which is already not that unique, and people are going to catch up to it soon enough. And what do you think, what kind of features do you think Mixer should implement to make it a unique platform? And do you believe that they will?
I also wonder if there's something to be said about, does it have to be unique at this point? Because I want to bring up the fact that, Mixer has done a lot of innovating in the years that it's been since Beam was bought by Microsoft. FTL is a thing. The Sparks patronage program, Sparks channel progression, all of that, co-streaming, things like that. But you'll notice that in the past 3 years, Twitch has adopted those features and taken them. So now they have squad streaming, they have channel points, they have hype trains, they have things that are comparative to those features on Mixer, but
Done better.
I think we can all agree that squad
Exactly.
streaming is more stable than Mixer co-streaming. I think we can all agree that they're taking things that we do and they're implementing them better.
The channel points are really
They
good.
have a bigger technical team, and I think that needs to be realized
Absolutely.
and accepted.
Absolutely.
When I say Embers, though, I mean the way that Embers work with Sparks, to clarify for chat. I don't mean that Embers were there first. I was an affiliate on Twitch before I moved to Mixer. I know
One
that
of the-
I know that
yeah.
Vince came first. Like, yeah.
One of the things I would say is that Mixer has and had done a lot of innovating, but they can't continue to do so, especially when it comes to critical milestones where you're bringing on key streamers like Shroud and Ninja, things like that, and there needs to be a point in time where those features need to be accessible by everyone, like clips for everybody. The
Oh, yeah, for
scalability
sure.
needs to be the scalability needs to be expanded for not just for partners, but really for everybody, so that there's a reason for people to prefer streaming on Mixer over Twitch, whether it's just the smoothness of viewership viewing quality, chat, things like that, right?
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where, like FIFA Nader was saying, that there isn't the comparable staff, as opposed to like Twitch, right?
And
So
the question is,
the
why
focus needs to be on
isn't
that
there?
quality.
Why isn't there? There's Microsoft behind them. Why don't they invest in more staff that are technically qualified to make a better platform? Do they think that? Yeah.
In my opinion, it's all about, well, for Microsoft, it's about money.
Yeah.
They have to get those numbers. And so that's why you've seen like big pushes on Embers and Ember sales and things like that. That's why, there's nothing that is ever permanent, just like the Spark patronage
Yeah.
program that was going on, last year, which most of us totally expected, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like, it's one of those things where, like, hey, are they able to review? Are they going to review like the kind of numbers that they're making, profits and whatnot for Microsoft, and are they going to be able to sustain the previous staff that they had to balloon the development of the initial core features of Mixer, and what is expected of the remaining staff, and are they going to be able to support and invest into additional staff to grow? From what I know, there is a lot of third-party resourcing going on on Mixer. It's not new to any kind of technical company. So I think, in some avenues, there are things that Mixer is doing to expand its drive for engineering. And
I hope
hopefully
so.
we'll see. Yeah, hopefully we'll see that that kind of delivery, especially when it comes to quality. So.
A good question in chat from Noob Sniper. What's stopping Microsoft from clearing out those 4 contracted streamers and stop funding for Mixer once it's not profitable? It's kind of like this is
It's a hard question.
this is the Activision way of doing things. Buy a company, watch it die.
Yeah, not being Microsoft, like, I mean us. I mean, I know I'm not. I don't know.
A lot of people will say liken Microsoft to Mixer with Microsoft to like the Windows Phone, right? Becomes a fad kind of thing. But you don't know them. You don't know the investment
Yep.
Microsoft is making, and clearly
We don't.
Clearly, there's a heavy investment because of the amount of money, which would be arguably significant for the likes of Shroud and Ninja.
Oh, for sure.
But is
so
it significant
there's-
to Microsoft?
Don't know.
Is
We'll
that a
see.
sum that they care about?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
I
The
think.
other thing that I was wondering, and I don't know exactly the source on this, like I don't know the total facts, but Minecraft Dungeons launch on Mixer.
Yep.
Mhm.
And maybe you can shed some more light on this than I know, Cabby. I saw a lot of Twitch partners getting early access to Minecraft Dungeons, but I saw maybe one Mixer partner get access to Minecraft Dungeons and stream it as an Xbox title on Mixer. So my question is, do you feel, so if Microsoft is giving early access to games preferentially to Twitch instead of Mixer, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like I guess what I'm wondering is, do you feel like they're giving them to Twitch because they feel like Mixer isn't competition to Twitch? I don't know, and that's a hypothetical, and that may sound worse than it is, but I'm just wondering, like, what's the rationale for something like that?
I think that may be hypothetical. I don't know. I don't know if that's something for a fact that that
'Cause
Microsoft.
I only saw one Mixer partner streaming early access to Minecraft Dungeons 3 days
Yeah.
early, and then by
Right.
the 3 days were up. That's why the Minecraft Dungeons launch probably could have been better on Mixer, but people had already watched it for 3 days on Twitch.
That
because
is
people had early
huge.
access.
Yeah, Gaga did, as someone said.
Oh,
in-
God did.
Yeah.
Okay. So very,
I know a few have. It's
Yeah.
just I think it's lost in. I think it's easy to once again,
of
you
course.
know, between the scale of Mixer and Twitch.
Miranda, did you play early access? Minecraft.
Did you get early access to Minecraft Dungeons?
Okay.
Nope.
Someone in chat said you did. It was not
Launch
early
is
access.
very
It was
different
launch.
than early access.
Yeah.
No, it was day one Game Pass launch.
Yeah. Day one
Yeah.
is very, very different.
Did you do your due diligence and homework for you know early
Yes.
access one?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
That is
months in
very
advance.
interesting. I think
Okay.
it's
That is
very
interesting.
it's very
Yeah.
reflective of how Microsoft sees Mixer
I'll
if they
just
don't
be
give.
transparent. I've gotten this is just full disclosure. I've gotten more codes from external developers, from reaching out to external developers on my own terms
Uh-huh.
than I have gotten from Mixer, and that's
Yeah.
just
Same.
my personal experience. But
Same.
Same.
I do
Same.
my due diligence
Same.
every single time, Cabby, that
Yeah.
things come up. And
It's
And when I did get a cop, so this is just when I did get
yeah,
a copy.
I
got
definitely
a copy
can't.
4 days late.
Right.
I got a copy 4 days after a game launch when it did come from Mixer, and I got a copy from the company, 2 copies from the company before day one, but Mixer sent their code 4 days after launch. And as a streamer, you know as well as I know, if you get a game 4 days after launch for a game like Borderlands 3,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's I honestly
That's one
my
experience
opinion is
I
that
had, but-
well, yeah, everyone on especially when it comes to a Microsoft launch title, every partner should have it doesn't even even if they don't play it, it's just
They just
email blast.
like,
They should have
yeah,
it,
how
right?
Mixer gave us Game Pass Ultimate for a year with COVID and everything. Like, I
And-
think that Microsoft probably has the money for things like this. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't know. I 100% agree that every partner should definitely be able to have access to it, and they
Because
should be
that's investing
prioritized.
in your partners. That's investing in your partners who are going
In
to
your
invest in
brand.
your website.
Yeah.
And they
there's
know
a-
that Mixer cares, and then they know that Mixer cares about them, so they'll continue to push Mixer. It's morale. It's all about morale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that
Yeah.
you would push it on your own platform first and foremost, like period. But again,
I mean, who knows?
from a
Maybe
business
there was some
perspective-
business guy up the chain of command that was like, "Look, we're gonna get more bang for the buck if we reach out to these people on Twitch."
And you will. Fact is that
Suck.
They
most
will, and that's fine. I
every
understand
business
why they
knows
did
that,
it.
but this is the Mixer specific business. It's like if
Right.
it was any other game development company, I understand most
is the
game
investment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Twitch is
Yeah.
But
yeah.
when Microsoft is so closely linked to Mixer, like I get it with Mixer as a game company, but when Mixer also owns a streaming platform,
Absolutely.
it feels like kind of a slap in the face.
I think about it this way too: is how many we'll take Minecraft Dungeons for example. How many advertisements did you see that said "Watch it here first"?
Yep.
No,
You see any?
No.
None.
Not a one.
None.
That is an issue.
advertising is a huge
Yeah.
issue.
That is an issue.
Advertising is
a huge
absolutely
missed
a
I
huge
think
issue.
we all agree.
If they had it,
that
if they
Mixer
had it
needs
set up
more
ahead of time, where they
Yeah.
had like even 10 people that they knew were going to have early access to play this thing a few days early, there should have already been advertisements before then saying, "Watch these X amount of streamers on
Mhm.
Mixer playing it early here
Yeah, watch
first."
streamer play
Would've been
Minecraft on
huge.
3 days early.
It doesn't even have to be like an in your face, like over the top advertisement. It can just be like a little,
Like even
just
a
at least
little
show
shout out.
something. Like
A
do
little shout
something.
out at their show.
yeah, if the Mixer social Twitter tweeted out, some of our partners have early access to Minecraft Dungeons. Please go check them out.
Yep.
I
Or-
don't think that's that. Maybe I don't know how their social team works logistically, but I don't think that's that much to ask.
Yeah.
Even just the generic, it doesn't have to mention partners' names. It just has to say, like, you know how they did the Destiny Tuesdays campaign when they were like, some of our partners are being featured on the front page to play Destiny. Like they could do that with early access and Minecraft Dungeons launch. They've done it before in the past to success. So
Well, Minecraft Dungeons launch was also during lockdown, so I don't know if that threw a wrench into any of the marketing campaign efforts or whatnot. But you think it would be done remotely either way.
Yeah.
So who knows? Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys on that one.
And another interesting point is the Microsoft points for a sub and the potential talk of Game Pass giving you a free sub. How do you guys feel about that?
I think you're going to alienate your PlayStation and Nintendo streamers on Mixer if you do that.
And I have to point out that as she's
understand
talking,
why.
that she's coming from somebody who doesn't own an Xbox.
I don't own an
and
Xbox.
that is a big thing.
And
because
I have been jumped on. I have been jumped on by viewers before
point of view,
for
we
not
don't
owning
know.
an Yeah, I have been jumped on by viewers before saying I don't deserve to be partnered because I don't have an Xbox. That I am apparently a hater of Xbox. All of these things from like, and they're not from nobodies. They're not from nobody trolls. Like, and
Okay, but I mean,
so,
And the questions in
my
chat.
counter to that is that if you don't have Amazon Prime, are you a hater of Amazon?
no,
Are you a
the
hater of
point
Twitch?
is-
You know what I
the
mean? Like,
point is that it's not a service that's linked to one console.
It's
You're
true.
a video game streaming platform, but you only cater to 2 of the 4 platforms that people can play video games on. You're
Interesting.
catering towards Xbox and PC, which is fine, but I think
Imagine that by some miracle they managed to reach out all the people that own an Xbox One. That is still a fraction of what Twitch has on their platform.
Yeah.
and I think that it's an interesting idea. I would rather see a free sub with Mixer Pro to give Mixer Pro some sort of usefulness for people that don't stream, because it's
It's
useful.
not as biased. Yeah.
It's useful for people who stream on Xbox, but Mixer Pro could benefit from a free sub with Mixer Pro.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think that would give that, because Twitch has the Twitch Prime crown when you are Prime, but you have the purple when you're Pro on Mixer. And
Oh.
I think that a lot of partners would use their free sub on other
And the value of the Mixer Pro would go up to like more. I mean, people like know that it's worth something. You can easily go check out what the perks are that they give you, but I definitely think that could make it worth more and give people more of a reason to sub to like Mixer.
And for the
there'd be
record, I
purple
don't think
names everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think that wanting to do things with Xbox integration is a bad thing. I don't think wanting to do things with Microsoft is a bad thing, because at the end of the day, I understand that Mixer is owned by Microsoft. But I also understand that, like, I've had people come to me and ask me, how's the PlayStation community on Mixer? How's the Nintendo community on Mixer?
Interesting.
And I see Mixer doing giveaways for console of your choice, but people laugh and they go, well, why Nintendo Switch? You can't stream that on Mixer. When Goth moved to Mixer, people were like, well, no PS5 for you. And
What?
I think that maybe it's a marketing thing too, where Mixer needs to, I guess that's my question. Does Mixer want to market to PS4 and Nintendo?
That's a good
And
question.
if so,
They
how
should.
do
they
they?
need to if they want to
They
grow.
should.
Because
Yeah,
I'm fine with
they
whatever
could.
the answer is. But I also, like someone said in chat, Twitch is a live streaming platform. Mixer seems very focused on PC and Xbox,
Yeah.
which I think in the long run, you're not going to reach you're limiting the amount of people you're reaching when you go into a more niche market.
Yep.
Which may or may not be a bad thing in the long run, but I think you
No.
definitely still feel generally from the public that Mixer is Xbox and Mixer is like
Yeah.
Xbox.
And
And
there
Yeah, and
are-
it's tough to get rid of. It's tough to like duck around that stigma, right? Like
Mhm.
because just of the nature of where Mixer has stemmed from, and Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So, but 100%. I mean, I think there's. I mean, if you're going down that line, we have to have integration and some type of deal like between Mixer and a lot of these companies that deal, that deal with that, and it includes Sony, includes Samsung, includes Nintendo. So yeah, I mean, in order to tap into a broader audience, that I personally definitely would hope that Microsoft steps out and pushes Mixer to really expand in those territories as well.
Yeah. And have apps on these platforms, as mentioned in chat. And another great suggestion
Yeah.
in chat, or at least I haven't thought about it before, is having the Mixer Pro subscription give you a free sub. Like, increase it a little bit by price, but give you a free sub with that. That way it's not tied to Xbox in any way. That's a great suggestion, in my opinion.
That would be a huge.
I think that would be...
That'd be
Good
Yeah, one
suggestion.
of the things on the topic, since we're trying to deviate away from that, is the on the whole like sub thing, with with Prime subs and whatnot. Uh, Game Pass may be very limited based off of Game Pass subscribers, whereas Microsoft Rewards is actually very very massive and can field very very massive amounts of gifted sub. But one of the problems is that nobody's educated about it.
Yeah.
It's not as accessible.
I had
right?
no
So-
idea what it is.
It's harder to use
Right.
than Prime.
What's Microsoft Rewards, right?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Microsoft's intention with that is to involve the Microsoft family into rewarding, the subs there, because it includes, the use of Bing. It includes the use of, several Microsoft line of products
Mm-hmm.
that reward you those points. But the problem is that nobody really
Yeah.
knows or
It's
hasn't
not
had
been advertised.
the
Well, yeah,
habit
and what
of
does that do
using
for
that.
potential viewers to Mixer that don't have Microsoft rewards? So
Everybody who buys the Microsoft product.
you want new viewers to come into your platform though. But if those viewers are Sony or Nintendo or they don't have an Xbox, they might not have Microsoft rewards.
Well,
But
the
like-
thing about that too is that Amazon Prime is it's passive. If you have a Prime sub, then if you have Amazon Prime, it's passive. You already have a Prime sub. No matter what, you can forget about it. You come back, you find another streamer, and bam, you're able to drop
And a
one
lot of
immediately.
have Amazon Prime because ordering stuff online, like it's a wider used service. People know about Amazon Prime, but they don't know as much about Microsoft rewards. You have to actively, check up on your Microsoft rewards and stuff like
Right.
that. But Amazon Prime is there, and it's one click to sub to someone with your Prime.
Right. Simplicity is the problem. Like,
That's the
or
UI.
the lack of simplicity is the problem.
And I think especially on Mixer, where the audience to some extent is also younger, it's easy. They want something that's easy. They kids know how to go on to a Twitch stream and hit Twitch Prime. They know how to do that. And I can teach my
Simplicity.
parents. If I can teach my parents how to use Twitch Prime, but trying to explain to my parents how to do the Microsoft rewards thing, I'd be like,
Yeah. Good luck.
yeah.
Yep.
And and Sparks don't compare to Bits, chat. Sparks and Bits are not comparable. Embers and Bits are the same thing.
And that's the other thing too, is I kind of wish it was easier to explain our currency
God,
on Mixer,
how to explain
like
Sparks
the difference
and Embers
between
and how that works.
Sparks and Embers and and Hearts, and then our own personal bot channel points. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write a book.
I personally
Or-
had
I've kind of just given up.
The ease of access and the explanation of how these things work needs to be more concrete for viewers so they can read and be like, this is exactly how this works in layman terms.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of sometimes the Microsoft corporate speak makes it seem like it's like, so what does that actually mean for your stream?
Yeah,
though?
exactly. I had a problem with that because it took me 6 months to realize that people gain a ridiculous amount of experience by dropping Embers instead of Sparks. So people that have
progression
been
is pay to win.
people that have been watching me for 6 months were lower level than people that just came in and dropped like 100k Sparks or something.
Well, and that's
Embers,
the
I
thing
mean.
with channel points. Like channel points, Sparks, progression is a great idea, but progression still is inherently pay to win. And the thing with channel points on Twitch is channel points are free for everybody, and they don't influence your loyalty system.
Yeah.
They're individual activities for the viewer based on their viewing time and loyalty, but they don't tie into the monetary contribution. They keep the monetary and the time spent in stream separate to basically make sure that viewers know, like, yeah, your time is worth my time.
It's like in Twitch, you have a badge. You just get a badge.
It's not your time is money. It doesn't mix those together. It's like
What are you
your
talking
time
about? I
is
thought if
important.
you
The
spent
only-
Embers, it adds channel points, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. On Twitch, you can't spend money to
got
get
it.
more channel points on Twitch.
And
You spend money on Twitch because you want to spend money on Twitch. Whereas on Mixer, you can spend money to boost your level super high. So it is still, in a sense, pay to win, if that makes sense.
And what
Right,
Fish,
but that's just for your level. You're not talking about the chat rank, right? Because in the chat rank, you can adjust that to, like, if you don't want that to happen, bottom it out on everything.
actually, Legendary Ladman, that's a conversation I had with Brofish, and that is a partner only feature. I cannot do that.
Okay.
So
Oh, well,
Get
that's
wrecked. Non-partners get wrecked. Poor
So
Samantha.
I told her, I was like, you can.
thanks, Cabby.
I was like, you can make your lurkers count more. You can make lurkers count more. And I was like, just
Yeah.
go change it in your dashboard. You can go
Yeah.
and I had no idea that was only for partners.
I wanted
for,
to
like,
do that.
months.
I wanted to
I thought
reward
that was
my
for everybody, I'm not gonna lie.
lurkers.
I didn't know it wasn't for everybody. I
I
thought
do
it
think that there's a little bit of a disconnect too. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I mean, let's put it this way: like, this is everything we're talking about, right? The things that we're finding out just now from just talking amongst us six,
the
being like, "Oh,
communication.
I didn't know that was a
Right.
thing.
was
Right.
I had no idea." To go on the topic, not to like move all the way into communication, but I mean, two things. One is somebody went to go wanted to buy the game that I was playing the other day. I was playing I think it was Fallout 76 at the time, and I was like, "Oh hey, yeah, you can just let me adjust my game up top, and you can buy it through me if you want. It costs you nothing extra, but you can click there, you can get it since you're on Xbox anyway." And for anybody who doesn't know, that only works with people on Xbox. You can't buy it through there and get it on your PC. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
you
it's
can't
perfect.
buy
Here,
it
buy it there."
Sad.
I went to go click on it. I'm like, "Where the hell did my game
Time.
stuff go?"
Yeah.
I had no idea it was gone.
Yeah, it was just
No
kinda
idea. I'm
one
like,
big
"Oh, that's cool. They got rid of that. Sorry,
Yep.
dude."
one.
Done.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the other thing is, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go more further into the features, and for example, I would imagine that you guys have meetings with the Mixer team, and you would suggest some things that to be implemented in the platform, and there would be a back and forth. And how many times that was a question not just from myself, but a lot of people in my Discord as well asked it on Twitter. How often do you see a feature that you recommended or other partners recommended to be implemented within 6 months?
I mean, I can't speak. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we can't speak on,
Yeah.
but I can
What
say
you
that as
cannot
partners,
say,
I
don't.
can say that as partners that we voice our feedback very regularly.
Yep, that's good.
And I think I'm not alone in saying we voice our feedback extremely regularly.
Yep.
For what we wish to change in the platform.
That's
there
great.
has been improvement on that. Years ago, it used to be really bad. Microsoft's very known to be pretty reclusive, very quiet. And it was that way for a while, especially during the transition between Beam to Mixer. And when it officially became Mixer, it was just like full discussion lockdown. There was no communication, no nothing. And this was this was very frustrating. And one of the things I did with several partners was we were ranting like crazy. It was pretty bad, but they gotten a lot better with it. And so it is maintained, it is moderated, and it is constructive.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was the Wild West. But it's a lot better now, and it's definitely something that is not heard. If regular streamers that non-partner streamers that are not like, if they are voicing things out through socials, through their channels, or through other partners that they're in contact with, it's not going unheard, because those same things are being reflected with the partners to the staff 100%. So
yeah. I want to touch on what we would call the culture of Mixer, which some months ago I believe that there is no culture established yet, but now my opinion has shifted into thinking that there is a culture of what myself and a bunch of other people that I've taken questions from for this podcast have described as forced positivity, of people wanting to be positive for the sake of being positive and for the sake of pleasing what they think Mixer staff want them to do. Would you
yeah,
like to discuss?
no pineapple pizza culture. Yeah, 100%.
Fuck
Yep.
pineapple pizza though.
This man,
Hey, it's my favorite.
he goes just right there. All right, I see how this.
I'm kidding. No, it definitely Mixer and Microsoft has been like very, very pushy when it comes to a specific type of culture that they want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they really do hold streamers to that kind of standard, especially when it comes to streamers applying for partnership. I think that's one of the wrenches. Not a lot of people realize that outside of the numbers, it's almost more important to really see that they want to see who you are, as opposed to like,
and that would apply to Twitch as well, for sure. But there would be a variety of people. They would like partner people for many different reasons and keep the diversity up. Or what my concern is that here people are getting partnered for being that one specific, you know, kind of like a Disney princess, gotta fit into that very specific stereotype of being the Disney princess. You all guys are Disney princesses, I believe you.
I mean, I got 2 daughters. You're not telling me anything I didn't know.
I have a daughter. Yep.
Oh, me too.
I'm dressed like a princess every night. Believe me.
Love it.
Knew it.
Abby
Knew
caught
it.
stream when.
Ask minicabs. I don't know.
Yes, yes, chat. Everyone in chat
She
is a
probably
princess.
tells a whole lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. How we,
I did today on stream.
yeah, she came out of the bathroom last night. She's like, I shit myself.
How old is she? Oh, we're getting this sidetracked.
Yeah, she's almost 5.
Aw,
Oh, I got 6-year-old.
She actually say shit though, like because that would make it 10,000.
yeah.
Yes.
that's great.
Like, yeah.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
Hey dad, guess what?
how do you think that
Yeah.
affects the culture on the platform? How do you feel like that's affecting the culture, and especially streamers on the platform who would, for example, go out of their way to portray a persona that doesn't necessarily fit with their actual personality just to fit into the criteria that Mixer wants to see on the platform?
I
it's a
think
ripple
it's
effect.
yeah, I think it's that, and I think it's something that I keep hearing is from Mixer leadership is engagement, quality versus quantity.
Yep.
And I think they're really trying to hone down on what kind of vibes like streamers give off and things like that. I think maybe there is like just that buildup of like that the tailoring of Mixer fam, so to speak.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
really promote those kind of Microsoft Mixer family oriented kind of like feeling to it, I guess.
And what
I
is
think
the
that
Yeah.
might be a mistake.
Yeah.
Because if
Right.
you can't
Yeah.
use Twitch for an example of being there for so long, they let the culture grow organically, creating
Yep.
so many different
cultivated
subsets
itself.
of culture.
Yeah.
So many subsets of viewers, so
Mhm.
many subsets of everything going to view live content. And because they are honing, I'm afraid that maybe because if we hone in too hard on one type of vibe, we're
Mhm.
not gonna become the platform that we
Like people are
dream
gonna
of.
feel shut out if we try to
Right,
try to
right.
control it too much.
I'm
You
a
see
Yeah.
people
big
over the
advocate
top,
for
or
diversity.
still you see people who
Mhm.
have arguably toxic chats but still have like
Yeah.
success. And I think that like I definitely see more like different communities, whereas like when I see Mixer and like I see very much a similar vibe to a lot of the streams on Mixer. It's
Yep.
Mixer fam, anti-cyberbullying,
There's less variety.
anti-this,
Which is normal for
inclusivity,
smaller.
positivity,
Yeah.
which is cool. But sometimes I also feel like because of all of the positivity that I'm being like bombarded with, that I'm afraid to talk about like
Anything negative or might be perceived that way.
my
Yeah.
life are not going well,
And that's
because
why-
I'm afraid
yeah.
that I like won't get attention because I'm and can I just say I want more copy pasta. I
Yeah.
want more copy pasta. I like the
Yeah,
Bring the
more
smart
emo,
trolls.
like
sarcasm.
emote culture. Yeah.
See more backhanded
bring the
sarcasm.
Pepes.
I love sarcasm. I love sass. I love all of that. But
Yeah,
I
we're humans. Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I want to see that more, like the clapbacks, the sassing.
Like, I guess it's just if you feel like you're censoring yourself too much, it does take a toll on you when you do feel obligated to censor
Yeah,
a
like-
certain part of yourself because you want to come off more family friendly, I guess. But not everything is family friendly because it's not meant to be, because there has to be some sort of diversity and variety. The whole
Yeah.
point, like we've been trying to drive this home for years, is variety.
Yeah, and I
Right.
see Cab.
And-
I've seen you clap back on trolls before, and I'm like, we don't see enough of that on Mixer.
Yeah.
We don't see enough of people just like speaking their mind because they're afraid Mixer will go like, oh, you're bullying your viewers. But it's like,
Oh,
it's like-
banter.
it's
And
all right to have banter and fun and like be 18
Mhm.
plus and like
I am a bully.
yeah.
I am a bully to my viewers, and they love me for it because
And
it's entertaining,
Warzone. I
like-
see you play Warzone. Jesus.
right, but that's
Oh god, I hate that game. I love
know,
it, but I hate it.
that's the community that you've fostered, and I think that it maybe needs to be a little bit more okay on Mixer to have that culture.
They
Like,
don't promote that. They don't promote those kinds of things.
yeah,
You have to understand that, like, it, one of the things that I don't ever want to be is a poster boy for Mixer, and it's one of the reasons why I turned down a commercial a while back that you guys may have heard of, but I never really talked about it because I just don't want to be in that position
Right,
or
of
predicament.
course.
But they won't. But they're very, very conscious. They're very, very conscious about their image. Mixer,
Right.
as a company and as a streaming platform. So that is something that weighs on people that really do promote like edgy content or that provide edgy content or
Oh.
whatnot. The platform needs to be free. You need to be
Yeah.
able to be who
Claps
you
in
are.
chat.
And I have a
Claps in
question for
chat.
you to follow up. I have a follow-up question for you. Do you think that if people feel like their content and the content that they're creating isn't vibing with Mixer's mission statement, that it's that if it's okay if they want to move on to say Twitch or that they are making the right decision for their content because they feel like they mesh better with Twitch's culture than they mesh with Mixer's culture? Like, do you feel like that's valid when people say like, I just feel like Twitch is a better fit because I feel like I like the culture there better?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's not for everybody. There's no specific rhyme or reason to stick around if you're not liking it or if you're not enjoying the vibes.
Feel you're being put in a box.
Yeah.
Is it
And
okay?
If you
and get the
feel
hell
like
out of the
limited
box.
in any way,
Okay.
shape, or form, you should
Cool.
be able to make the choice that's right for you and your brand. If that's going to another platform, then so be it. I mean, it's kind of like going to a bunch of different schools as a kid. Like sometimes you just don't feel like you fit in one place. You don't
Right.
fit into some sort of mold. So you
Mhm.
have to find somewhere that makes you feel welcome and makes your community feel like you can actually have a place to foster it properly.
I
So
have a
many
problem
people-
with
I
that
see
though.
so many people digging on Mixer partners though for leaving for Twitch because they just genuinely like the Twitch community better, or they just
They're
genuinely
human and they're still finding themselves too.
Yeah.
better. And I think that those people should be told that. I think those people should be met with only well wishes for their careers.
Yeah.
Those
Mhm.
people are doing something for them. It doesn't affect other people. It is not to trash Mixer. It is not an indictment on the platform. And it is just those people saying, I like this better, and that's okay.
That's,
And
yeah,
I
that's
just-
completely
And I
okay.
think that, and I think that you learn in the years that you're on a platform, like you could be on a platform for 2 years and realize like this may not be the place that you thought that you belonged, but you learned how to be a better streamer and you learned who you were as a person, and your priorities can change. And I
Mhm.
think that we should be supportive of those people who change their mind because they're allowed to change their mind.
Yeah.
To be honest, if and this is what I've always said to people is support the content creator, not the platform. Not that you shouldn't support a platform. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if you like said person who's making said content, you will follow them to wherever they're going to go to make said content. And if you're too damn lazy to click in the browser and type in something else, that off. 'Cause
That's
I
a
don't
your
care.
problem.
But that's also, in my opinion, that's also a platform problem, especially from business side of view. If you're fostering one type of person, that is, in my opinion, doomed to fail. Imagine being a manager and hiring a team of people that have the one same skill set. That is a team that will never succeed. That is a team that is
it's like
doomed to
taking
fail.
a sports team and only signing defenders to your hockey team.
Exactly. It's just
Or
that's
only
not,
signing offensive to your hockey
it's
team. And no
not
goalie.
right. It's not
your
right.
Well, here's my take is like from like if you take a look at it from an outside perspective, like a lot of people come to Mixer because Twitch trolls are really bad, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very loyal to their platform, and they'll come at Mixer with everything they got, no matter
Yeah.
what, because of platform loyalty. It's
Yeah,
always
that's-
it's a healthy thing if Mixer's doing the same. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that you shouldn't support streamers that decide to switch platforms. You should support them no matter what, because that is their decision to make. If they don't think that it's a good fit for their stream or their community, they can go wherever they please. And if you are a fan of that streamer, then you're gonna support them no matter where they go.
Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, I mean, try to look at it as like as kind of as a healthy problem to have. Although toxicity is gonna
It will
exists no
always
matter
be there.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will always be there. No
Like
matter
at
what.
the very base of like streaming, you have a stream, you have a live stream, and you have a chat. I think that's the one thing that like is pretty consistent around every single platform. You don't have all the other features are totally optional. You don't have to sub.
Well,
You
there's-
don't have to spend anything. You don't have to like play with the little stickers. You just watch and
You
chat with your
chat.
friends.
It's you and your chat at the core value, no matter which website you stream on, no matter where you make content. It's you streaming, talking to your community. And I just wish people could realize, like, it's not that different on a different website. It is, you are still you are still making your content. And if anything, if you're going to switch platforms and be more of yourself, that is better for you than pretending to be somebody else.
Yep. And on that subject, I want to have your opinion on how it affects Mixer when people leave the platform. Obviously, they'll take their communities with them, majority of them. In fact, I have statistics from my sources, Devin Nash on Twitch, who is CEO Andy of Twitch. Look him up, he's great. He had a statistic that people who leave Twitch to Mixer have 30% retention rate on their communities, and people who go from Mixer to Twitch have 100% retention on their community. That means that they take their entire community with them, and the people that are pro Mixer and stay behind and hate on those people for leaving Mixer are less than 1%, a vocal minority.
I want to say something about that. I think that's
99%.
numbers. That like, yes, you're probably right. I mean, I agree that those are crazy numbers. That's really shocking.
Yeah,
100% of my five viewers.
But I'm sure not every single viewer came. It's just that the numbers, right? It's the number retention, not like the exact viewers.
Well, and and I don't think it's follower count
the
either.
concurrent views.
Concurrent
viewers. Concurrent
so like
viewership.
If you have 30,
okay.
if you have 30 concurrent viewers and you switched from Twitch to Mixer, you would have like what, 15, 10?
Yeah.
And then if you switched from Mixer to Twitch and you had 30, you'd still have 30 when you went to Twitch.
Yep.
And like when you hear that, is your first reaction positive or negative to that towards like Mixer? Is that
negative?
I mean,
See, I think it's a positive, and here's why. Okay, so I think that says a lot about the Mixer community. If like regardless of how they feel about Twitch, whatever, the fact that Mixer people that you met and brought into your community that became your friends on Mixer, the fact that those people will follow you means that somewhere along the line on Mixer, like we did something good to our community to make them loyal to like our channel instead of just Mixer or just Twitch. Like the fact that going from Twitch to Mixer says a lot about the people that you had there or whatever. Like, why didn't they follow you? Why didn't they see it as something very simple?
I have a counter to that. I would love to agree with you, Miranda, but unfortunately I don't, because
I'm a forever optimist. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. I think it's a beautiful thought, and I would very much like to believe that. But the fact is that
if you didn't disagree with me, this would be boring.
Partnership denied.
People, no, that's fine. People on Twitch, Twitch viewers don't necessarily have a Microsoft Mixer account. People on Mixer most likely already have a Twitch account. So
that's what I've noticed too.
For them, it's not even making an account. Hey, baby, who's that? Oh,
so pretty. I love that hair.
That's minicam.
So I can talk both sides of that because
go on, please do.
I came from Twitch and moved to Mixer. I was on Twitch for almost 5 years and was over there. And then when I saw K-Magic 101 move over, and I was like, And actually, it goes even back further than that. It was when I was listening to the Bro Man podcast. He had Tim on for the first time, Darkness 429. He was talking about, a viewer had came on, asked him a question saying, well, what's stopping you from moving? And then like a week later, Kevin came over to Mixer. And I was like, Kevin moved to Mixer. Interesting. Because I was at a time where I was very displeased with where I was going on Twitch, because nobody can deny Twitch is so saturated, which is why there's that stigma where everybody's like, oh, well, start streaming on Mixer because Twitch is so saturated. It'll be easier to try to grow and be discovered because Mixer has less people. You'll stick out more, especially if you're unique. And because of that, I had been on Mixer, or on Twitch, like I said, for about 4.5, almost 5 years. Before I came over, and the people that came over with me are still with me. Not everybody came, obviously, because everybody's, like we're saying, is very platform loyal. So they're like, nope, I'm on Twitch. I'm staying on Twitch. Cool. You don't have to come over if you don't want to. I didn't beg anybody to. I gave everybody a week's notice. Said, listen, this is our last week here on Twitch. Advertise it every time. Came over, brought over the same amount of viewers that I had on Twitch to start off on Mixer with. Fast forward, some odd time now, I've crushed every number I ever had on Twitch when I was almost over there for 5 years that I've done in less than half the time over here in Mixer. Granted, that's because, like I just said, there are less people over here. It's not as saturated. It's easier to be discovered, be found, and things like that. But at the end of the day, I didn't do anything different, mostly, that I did on Twitch than I did on Mixer to gain, quote unquote, more views, better views, whatever you want to call it, followers, etc. I did the same in both places. The only thing I didn't do much of was I was more of a content creator on the Mixer side than I was on Twitch. When I was on Twitch, I was more of a viewer, even though I streamed, and I streamed just as much as I do on Mixer there. I was more of a quote unquote viewer than I was a content creator, because I felt the need to always have to be in everybody's chats all day long, all the time. What's this guy doing? What's that guy doing? What's this person doing? Because at the end of the day, Twitch always felt more of a competition than it did a family. Mixer side feels more of a family, which is why you probably get that nice retention of, cool, I have 30 concurrent all the time. I can move over to Twitch and have that 30 concurrent. I've built a family relationship with the people on Mixer in this chat than I ever did when I was on Twitch, because Twitch always felt like a competition. It felt like if you didn't know the cool people or try to get to know the cool people, you weren't the cool people, so I don't need to be in that person's chat because I feel like I'm not going to be cool.
But you will notice that a lot of the people, you will
Pretty
notice
much,
that a lot of the people that come in, though, that like I know, at least for me, so like I agree with you. I agree that I've built probably a stronger community on Mixer, but I also know that 90% of my community also watches Twitch regularly.
Exactly.
So for me, I don't know if it would make a difference one way or another, because my community, yes, I was on Mixer to build it, but I think that my community watches both pretty much equally, to the point where I don't think they would care as long as I stream.
I think if your community is more platform agnostic, like you have,
I like a platform
much gonna
agnostic
be
community. That's the community that I fostered, is a platform agnostic community. And I've always preached it in my chat. People come into my chat to talk shit about Twitch. I'm like, don't talk shit about Twitch. My husband's a Twitch partner. If you're gonna come in here and talk shit about Twitch, please leave. Because I don't put up with shit talking, whether it's towards Mixer or Twitch. And I've fostered a community of platform agnostic people who care about the streamer at the end of the day. And that's always been like a mission statement for me, is like, you should support the people because you love the people, and it's not a platform competition at the end of the day. Like it is, we're all just trying to make content.
I have an interesting observation and theory with no stats to back me up this time, unfortunately. But
no stats? What? What?
To why discoverability is easier on Mixer, because if you look at the stats, statistically that's impossible, because for every Twitch streamer you have the 30 viewers, and for every Mixer streamer you have 3. So statistically speaking,
new stats.
Yeah, statistically speaking,
I don't know what it was when Ladman and me, when we all got on the platform. It could have been different.
Yeah, I wish I knew that too.
I still believe
pretty much the same. It was pretty much the same. I've been monitoring it for 2 years.
I still believe that discoverability is easier on Mixer. Well, less so after they removed the up and coming section, something that I'm absolutely gutted about, because that's the section that I grew in.
Man.
But what I believe is that although Mixer has so many streamers, and just so many streamers compared to viewers, I think majority of these streamers are part of the Xbox kids culture, as much as I hate saying that term. That's how we describe them now. Kids who just turned on their Xbox, pressed the stream button on there, and it's as easy as that. They don't put in any effort. It is
counting
not,
those in the data.
It is not
there's a ton
equality.
of streams out there with 0 viewers that are just people playing video games.
Like I said with the ratio, if there's one viewer or if there's two viewers for every streamer, that means that if Ninja has 8,000 viewers, then that means there's 4,000 streamers that have 0 viewers.
Yep.
And most of those 4,000 people that have 0 viewers chances are kids on their Xbox with no face cam, no microphone.
They might have accidentally pressed the cast too.
Literally just thinking that they're sharing the game with their friends, but really they're broadcasting to a streaming.
I know streamers who got on Mixer because they used to use the Xbox to share their gameplay with their friends, and they like slowly realized what this place was.
Yeah.
And if you go to the Mixer subreddit, you'll see a lot of people like, oh, I just used this on my Xbox to stream, and I suddenly got 2 people watching me. How amazing is that? Mixer is awesome. And I'm like, cool. And that's the majority of people that we have, and this is why it's so much easier to like pop out as someone who is serious about it and someone who is provides quality to people. It is so much easier to stand out in that crowd.
So there might be more streamer to viewer ratio on Mixer,
But the
than-
quality is less.
exactly for
Yeah,
the majority of them.
the quality is bogged down because you have so many streams that are these, like it's literally just people sharing their screen, and so I think that's why, like, it does hurt me sometimes when I see people say like the quality of streams on Mixer is lower, and I don't necessarily think that's true. I think there's a lot of really, I think there's a lot of really great Mixer streamers, but I do think they're bogged down by all of these.
Yep.
Started my Xbox stream for the first time that makes it all look like it's
So
saturated.
you're speaking more to production quality rather than like
From an outside viewer
no.
perspective, when you come and look at Mixer and you see hundreds of 0 viewer streams, it makes it look like Mixer is harder to grow on because they see these streams of people who probably turned on their Xbox stream.
I personally was
sorry, I have
talking
to
about
go.
quality. Oh, okay. Good luck and stay safe.
No worries.
Yeah, I found out that I live in Houston, and there's gonna be a march for the Floyd family tonight. So me and my sister are going, and it was last minute. I meant to stay the whole time. I apologize. Just something I
all
really
right.
feel like I have to do. And
Stay
I
safe.
love
Yeah.
everybody.
Do your thing.
We
Stay
love you.
safe.
Thank you very
Be
much.
safe.
is bum.
Okay, let me rearrange my whole thing. My whole jam.
Now, Cabby's on top.
Yes. In the meantime,
Yeah.
I believe that I was talking personally about quality of stream, not production quality.
And I just want to clarify for chat. There's no portion of me saying that there aren't those 0 viewer streams
Bless you,
on Twitch.
Rhonda.
But Rare
Thank
Drop is a tool. Rare Drop has a tool now that lets me look at categories on Twitch merged with categories on Mixer. And I can tell you, having looked through categories like Destiny, Minecraft Dungeons, that there's a bunch of Twitch streams on the top, and then there's a very large chunk of 0 viewer Mixer streams at the bottom. Because this is the Rare Drop tool. It combines directories from Twitch, Mixer, and Facebook into one UI that you can look at, so you can see where you stack on Mixer, on Twitch, on Facebook, and how you compare to every streamer on every platform. And I will tell you that there's a giant chunk of 0 viewer Mixer streamers at the bottom, and
Yep.
even compared with Twitch. I'm
Yep.
not saying there aren't 0 viewer streamers on Twitch, but
There are.
it's a chunk. It's a large chunk
And you can.
at the bottom of the pages.
The thing on Twitch is, even if you go into the 0 viewer streamers, there are still people that are trying to be a quality streamer.
You'll see 0 viewer streamers on Twitch with a face cam and a microphone.
Yep.
Whereas I think on Mixer it's different because it's a 0 viewer stream where it's just the screen, and it's generally like Fortnite or COD or something, and there's no audio, there's nothing. It's very bare bones, and that's the difference. There's a difference between a 0 viewer streamer on Twitch that has a setup and is actively trying to create quality content, and then there's a kid that's turned on their Xbox for the first time. And I think that it's important to make that distinction.
I have a
Yep.
quote
100% agree.
from Shroud's VOD where he addressed someone in chat from his core community that has been following him for years that said, "There's not a lot of good streamers on Mixer. That's why I have to go to Twitch when you're offline." That's a comment from Shroud.
Which is hang on.
From
so which
his
is
I
community.
just feel like at that point they really haven't done a
I
lot
don't
of
recall him
searching.
saying that. I think that he was reading.
No.
something out
He
of
wasn't.
chat.
Yeah. He was reading his
Okay.
chat from his chat. He read that. He commented on it. And his comment was that Mixer. He sees Mixer as the platform for people who are starting in streaming and will be the next big things in a few years. He sees this as a new up-and-coming streaming platform, which
Right.
I don't know how you feel about that as people who have been streaming here for years.
I mean, so he was, I know what scene you're talking about, or what part of that video, because I
Yeah.
watched it
Yeah.
last night, is he was talking about what a lot of people don't understand is a couple of things. One, Mixer is right now where Twitch was about 6 years ago in comparison. And Twitch, even though they started out as, Justin TV back in the day, the people that are around during the Justin TV times are the ones that you see now as being like, the very large streamers on the platform, the Tapmans, the Disrespects, the Lupo, all those guys,
Yep.
the top tier guys that you always see with the biggest view counts and things like that. Go over to the Mixer side, and us being behind Twitch essentially by, with a good 5 years or so, was built from the ground up with nothing. No boost from like Amazon on the back end. I mean, we have Microsoft, but they weren't exactly around for like any kind of video platform or anything like that. Whereas Amazon had a video platform, so they just kind of, we'll build off of that. They had nothing. So they're building from scratch, which is, a lot of the growing pains that we go through and things like that. And yeah, that also gives you the idea of, people that have been around for, 5 years, 2 years, 3 years that are trying to embed themselves in a platform that's growing to be in the future, those high viewer streamers in the future on Mixer side.
Yeah.
Right.
So he does have a fair point. That's what a lot of people are trying to do. A lot of people are trying to, push it out, wait it out. Yeah, there's a lot of growing pains, but still stick around for hopes of, eventually when the platform becomes to be as big as it possibly could be. They've been here for the longest time, hence they would inherently become one of the people that have been known around to be since the beginning.
So can I bring up one point though? I noticed that people always bring up the Twitch has been around for 10 years with Justin TV. And they say,
Right.
oh, we're 7 years ahead of where Twitch is. So if we're including Justin TV in Twitch's cumulative time that they've been alive, why aren't we including Beam? Beam's been around since 2015, but we constantly say Twitch is 10 years old, Mixer is 3 years old. But when we say Twitch is 10 years old, we're including Justin TV. So shouldn't we also be including, well, Beam's been around since 2015? So technically, like, I'm just saying you can't have it both ways. You can't say Twitch has been around for 10 years because of Justin TV, but then say Mixer's young because it's 3, but then not include Beam.
I also
Right,
think...
no, and I should have said including Beam.
No,
because
not you specifically, just other people when I see this argument.
I
Yeah,
also
you're not
think
wrong.
that it's an unfair comparison to do in the first place because so much has changed in this industry in the past 5 years that it is uncomparable. And I think that actually makes Mixer look even bad, to be honest, because you will not achieve anything by trying to follow in Twitch's footsteps because that doesn't work anymore. Just like you following the footsteps of someone like the Dr. Lupos and Soda Poppins and whatever, if you do the same thing they do, you will not succeed. I can guarantee you that.
No,
And
the formula for success for them back then is different than how it is now.
just like the
100%.
formula for success for a streaming platform has changed as well. And I fear that perhaps we are not adapting as a platform to those new changes.
The formula for success now is to play Fortnite, eat pineapple pizza.
He's not wrong, chat.
That's it. Take that information, run with it, get back to us.
Yeah. Let us know how it goes. Let us know how much you love your life after a year of streaming Fortnite 8 hours a day every day.
One slice of pineapple pizza, no.
But I mean,
not doing a year.
So here's the funny thing, right? Like we joke about that, right? Because that's kind of like the meme.
Right.
Of
Yeah.
What is this platform? Is we'll just go play Fortnite. You'll get views. Ha ha ha.
Enjoy those grapes,
in the
Brofist.
long run, that's not too far from the truth. As bad as that sounds, because Mixer boxed itself in as thinking of it as being a quote unquote BR platform mostly, as compared to variety here and there. It's they very pocketed themselves in a hole where they are very BR. I mean, you look at the first five games up on the page. It's all BR games.
Yep.
Every BR game there is
Well,
in the top
it's
because
an
they're able to play
evolution
those.
too. Remember when
Right.
Overwatch was and Minecraft was the same deal. So
League, like it was the same. Like
Are-
trends come and go, but I think it's impossible to deny that Twitch definitely has more in terms of diversity of categories that are feasible to make a living off of.
yeah,
You can make a living streaming Animal Crossing on Twitch.
Yep.
You know, you could play
Yeah.
an obscure game, and if you're the only person streaming that game, or if you're the leading person in that community,
That's a good thing.
Twitch, you can make that. But
Mhm.
it's the honesty is that there are categories on Mixer where that just is not possible
Yep.
to only play that game.
If you only do that, yes.
Only play
Where-
Fantasy Star Online on Twitch and and be partnered and be a Fantasy Star person and be that person.
Yep.
But on Mixer, if you only stream Fantasy Star Online, that game had 2,000 viewers the first day. It had 22 yesterday.
Even
It's
something
already-
as
it's been
big
less
as
than
World
7
of
days.
Warcraft cannot
World of
succeed
Warcraft.
on Mixer. Even
There are
something as
games
massive as
that-
that.
There are games that have a shelf life that's a quarter of the shelf life that they would have on Twitch, or like even a Nintendo game is dead after 2 days, or like I don't know if you noticed this, Cabby. You've been here for a long time, but I feel like the half-life of games is really short on Mixer.
yeah, I agree because that's because like I think a lot of people are trying to really capitalize off of where they can succeed the most on Mixer.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if once
It's very money driven.
it is, and hopefully, what I'd love to see is to the point where, especially variety and playing different games, sustains enough viewership that you can make a comfortable living off of. and that's the dream, right?
What would your
The freedom of
recommendation
choice.
to Mixer as a platform be to help grow their variety streamers?
Well, in order to help grow variety, you're going to need viewers. You're going to need a tack of 0 to the end of every channel viewership combined when it comes to variety.
I saw your tweet about that. I agreed with it
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, like, if you are more passionate about specific games that you play, you're more likely to succeed.
Yeah.
And if that means, but Mixer needs to provide the viewership for that,
Yeah. And we need to get
they
more. We
need-
need to get more viewers. We do.
there needs to be people that find, hey, I just found Brofish playing this, or I found whoever playing this, and this is where I want to be because I really like them. They're playing my favorite game, and that happens to multiply times a couple thousand, and that'd be great because then now you have a high CCU. You're really snowballing, and you don't have to feel bad about not playing a BR game. Don't have to feel bad about playing the top games or being that streamer that is caught in this exhausting grind in order to just sustain.
I feel like, and I hear from other people, like I hear from people who stream variety on Twitch, and I compare like the average time that they spend streaming versus the average time they spend making other content. And I feel like there's a lot of streamers on Mixer that feel like they need to do 8 to 10 hour stream days to make the same as what they could make streaming 4 hours a day on Twitch and doing other content, because the monetization culture on Twitch is so much more intrinsic.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by people seeing the same kind of way, people copying what people on Twitch used to do, and that's no longer the case. Like,
It's no longer relevant.
Like, long streams 7 days a week no longer work the way they used to. The new
Not on
kind
Twitch.
of the new, not anywhere, not even on Mixer. The new like meta is just have a fucking YouTube channel. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, like in addition to what you're currently doing. That's true.
Yeah, you need to be doing. It's not enough just to stream anymore, especially on Mixer. It is not enough just to stream anymore.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the things that lends itself to the whole Mixer love and Mixer, the tightness of Mixer, because we're all in the muddy trenches, so to speak, together, like the front lines. Like we're having to deal with double time, the additional work, and just pure grind in order to do something that we can do half of in a successful community on Twitch, for example.
Yeah. And do you
in terms
feel
of
like
hours,
there are
at least.
streamers on Mixer that are getting burnt out because of it? Because I see burnout way more on Mixer right now than I've seen.
I
I
don't
feel like I
blame
see it
anyone
more, yeah.
one bit. Like I sympathize. It's
So
tough.
like for streamers, if there are streamers that want to switch to Twitch because they want to avoid burnout, I would support those people.
100%.
Because if they could be doing something more efficiently and in a way that's not going to create mental health issues and things like that, like I think we need to talk more openly about mental health, like as streamers, because I think that there's
You
I think
create
there's
new
tons of
issues
streamers-
that people wouldn't even
there's
see.
tons of streamers, and I've seen, because I have friends and I can speak for those friends. They have moved to Twitch.
Mhm.
They are happy. They are less exhausted, and they are doing better in general.
Yeah.
I just
And
feel
I'm
like
happy for them. I'm so happy for them because they're.
I just
they're
feel like
happy.
this is a missed opportunity for Mixer. They could have accommodated these people better in a way to nurture them on the platform, to have a mutually beneficial relationship where they grow together.
I still think if follow for follow channels had been axed before Ninja got here, we would have more long-term retention viewers, and we could have capitalized on that.
Yeah,
and,
and just other basic problems like
that. What
Yeah.
Cabby said, Mixer wasn't ready for Ninja.
Yeah.
Mixer
Right.
wasn't ready for Ninja.
stability wasn't, monetization wasn't,
And I'm
just
glad that I'm hearing
aesthetics.
somebody else say that, because I don't think we were ready.
I
Yeah,
have
there's
a
still so much that they need to fix, like infrastructure wise, like
yeah.
Things like the clipping system, and just streams dropping out of nowhere because bad server issues that they have,
Gifted subs.
like so many things that they need to
Oh my God.
concentrate on. So
Can I just speak on how? So it took. This is just a comparison.
Feature talk.
It took a streamer, it took a viewer an hour and a half to gift me 93 subs on Mixer. They can do that with one button on Twitch.
That's sad.
Yep.
The
That is
ease
sad.
of access for monetization is just, and I know that it's something that we've been like, I want mass gifted subs on Mixer. Like I think that it's going to be good for ease of access. I think there's so many partners that go, yes, please, can we have that? And as viewers, like I know viewers of mine are like, It takes forever for me to gift subs. I can't gift it to someone who's not in chat because I have to at them. I have to at each individual person manually. Like the random gifted subbing and the mass gifted subbing, I think could help the monetization culture of Mixer so much.
At the same time, though, I don't blame them for not giving this to us yet when the system they currently have is still currently broken.
Yeah, like the fact that people can't even gift subs or can't buy
that to
embers
come,
because
but-
they're being physically locked out of their bank account, that is a problem.
Yeah.
That is a fundamental problem.
You're
I mean,
right, though,
especially when
the-
you're dealing with other people's money.
the UI in general on Mixer is a little exhausting. And even Shroud was talking about this on his video.
Yeah.
He was saying, a lot of people come here, they're so overwhelmed by like, oh man, there's so many different things I got to click on to do stuff,
Yep.
and they bounce because
Yep.
their attention span is 30 seconds. They don't have 3 minutes to learn the UI to stick around and try to stay here. They're
Shroud's
out in 30
biggest
seconds.
recommendation was have a search bar on the front page, not click and then search, which is a great recommendation, but I think the gifted subs is a little bit more important in my personal opinion.
I mean, to each their own. I think there's different people who think
Absolutely.
that different things are more important. I would prefer, like, I'm all for mass gifted subs and everything, but I still would prefer the website functionally work first.
Yeah.
100%.
I would prefer that, like, things work the way that they are intended to work. And
Yeah, reliability can't be a question. I mean, you hear so many people talk about, I've had so many drop frames on Mixer, but on Twitch it's smooth. That needs to be corrected.
Just to summarize, reliability on stream quality, reliability on payment options like embers and subs, reliability on UI, reliability on view count versus view list to be numbers that you see and believe and know that they are correct. These are the main issues as a platform that have to be addressed.
Well, and there's 3 different individual search bars too. There's an individual search bar for who you're following. There's an individual search bar for who you're browsing, and there's an individual search bar for categories. There should just be one search bar. Like, one search bar is fine, like, as long as it works. And I still think they made a massive slip when they removed up and coming, because here's the thing: you're trying to market Mixer to new streamers. If you're trying to tell someone why should you stream on Mixer as a new streamer, you can't tell them there's an up and coming section anymore. Whereas on Twitch, they could get featured in the recommended algorithm for smaller communities. So now Mixer, we don't have that thing that brings in smaller streamers now. So like,
which helped a lot of us.
Yeah, and I just don't understand the, like, I think that
I think they took one giant step back in discoverability when they got rid of it.
I'm trying to put this in a nice way.
That's all right.
It's not all about the partners. I'm a partner on Mixer, but it can't just be about the partners, or you're going to have this divide between partners and non-partners. You're going to make people feel like if you're not a partner on Mixer, Mixer doesn't care about you. And I think that for the morale of non-partners, I think up and coming should have stayed.
Bingo.
So the way the recommendation system works currently on Twitch, it takes people that follow you and it recommends. Okay, let's see. For example, you go to a stream and people who follow that stream follow other streams, and you get recommended streams that those same people follow.
Yeah,
based on the fact that you've watched that stream. It's a very basic system.
You can sort directories too on Twitch based on
recommendations.
Lowest to highest viewers,
based on what you've watched.
And people who have just started streaming in the last hour.
And
so like the sorting functions are,
it is still in very early. Accessible. It's still like not perfect for sure, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And I feel like the new front page that Mixer got in, was it February or March?
When was that?
This
January,
year.
February.
I felt like they're going to attempt to do the same thing and recommend you people that your followers also follow. But so far, it hasn't been that. It's only showing me people that I already follow, and the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm recommended so many Fortnite streams. I don't watch Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite. I don't want Fortnite.
That can't be recommended in your algorithm then.
The algorithm is not working properly if I'm still getting Fortnite streams. Or do you think that's just a problem because there are so many Fortnite streams on Mixer that it inherently just slips into the algorithm?
Maybe I have no idea how the algorithm works, and if there is an algorithm, because this is like pretty simple recommendation system.
I was hoping I was hoping that it would be something similar to Twitch's, which recommends you based on your following list. And I think it works to some extent, but it doesn't seem like it's working.
Can I just
properly.
take a moment to address chat? And people are wondering why they're getting their things timed out and why my sister is banning them in chat, my mod sis. The reason is because I want a civilized discussion, a debate where you have something to contribute to the conversation. If your comment is pure toxicity and hate towards one thing, you're just stating your opinion of pure hate with no resolution to it, don't do that. We are here to discuss things that we don't like and also give a solution to the problem. It is a discussion, constructive. As long if you're being toxic, there is no part for that in a discussion, because we are all here because we care and want to make the platform a better place.
To be toxic, we could, but we're not going to be toxic.
Exactly.
Because being toxic doesn't make the platform better.
Nope.
Doesn't. Being toxic to anybody doesn't make the platform better. Like, and no matter if you're heated, like I see heated discussions, I see heated people on Twitter. No matter how heated you are, you just need to take a step back and, like, if you can't say it constructively, it's like it's not helpful. It's not helpful.
You can be passionate about something, but if you can't be passionate enough to step back and make constructive criticism about it, you're just spewing.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. So please be respectful of everyone. Now, I have another quote from Shroud's VOD, from the same VOD that we were talking about earlier. He said, you really just have to wait when you're creating a streaming platform. You just have to sit there and wait. And that's why Microsoft is great, because they have the resources to just sit there and wait. What is your point on that? Because I personally highly disagree with this. What is your take?
I don't know. It just, to me, that sounds like he's saying that we just have to exist to continue to, like, do well. But innovation and complacency, stagnation is not the answer. Like you can't succeed and you can't grow without, like, it's like the whole matter cannot be created or destroyed. Like, you can't make something out of something when there's
nothing
there.
You have to put energy into something for it to grow. And I don't know where Shroud is coming from when he says all we have to do on Mixer is nothing to succeed.
I disagree with that.
I highly disagree.
Yeah.
I also think that he sees things from the perspective of someone who grew on Twitch on early days, as we discussed, and the way things work now is very different than the ways used to work. And you have to, in the internet world, in the digital media world, in, like, the social media world, and especially in streaming world, you have to constantly be adapting. If you fail to adapt to what is currently happening, you will ultimately fail. And that comes for the platform as well.
I think Pfeiffer makes a good point. I think that a lot of people assume that streamers on Mixer are either doing this full time or doing better than we actually are. There are people that ask me every day if I get paid a salary from Mixer. There are people who think, in my opinion, that there are more full-time Mixer streamers than there actually are. And I think people would be surprised to find out that, like, they have this mentality of, oh, you have this many viewers. If you were on Twitch, you'd be making this amount of money, or you'd be making this. And I think that their perception is warped because they're coming from Twitch, where there is a monetization culture. And I can tell you, for me, that there are viewers, or there are streamers on Twitch with my CCV that probably make twice, if not more, than what I make. But, you know, I know it's a gauche topic for streamers, but, like, I think that he assumes that everybody has his journey, but that's not like, every streamer's journey is different. And
absolutely.
I mean, I think he always uses a very simple tone whenever, like, he's talking. So it may be, like, misinterpreted very easily. Like, he could be saying that, he could be saying in general, it just, like, takes time. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
He's not assuming for them to sit back and do nothing.
I think in a very simple term, and not very, maybe, like, not it wasn't expressed in the best way possible, but I think what he was trying more to get at was something that I also see. I see a lot of people that come in like maybe a couple times a week. Like I'll see it a couple times a week where people come in and say, this is my first time watching a stream, or this is my first time on Mixer, and you try to make the best impression possible. And we're relying on those good impressions to those new users to come, like we're kind of building platform loyalty from the start. And then with the hope that if we sit and we foster those people and we keep them coming around, that they will become more loyal later on and then bring more people on through word of mouth. I think that's where he was getting at, not just being complacent and sitting there and just letting things happen.
Part of that is just that Mixer's, I don't, he's also suggesting that Mixer's not going to just sit here and die just because they're sitting on a lot of money. Right?
No.
So
Yeah. And one last point from his VOD was that he had a lot of plans. He had a lot of plans with Microsoft and Mixer to do very cool advertising, but then Corona happened and all those opportunities no longer exist. Now, most people like Twitch and most companies in the world, in the wake of this absolute pandemic tragedy, they, once again, I'm going to use the word adapt. They adapted to everything digitally. Why hasn't Mixer done that?
I don't think that's.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Ladman.
I was just gonna say I don't think that's something so much we can answer because we don't know.
Yeah.
The simple answer for a lot of us is we just don't know.
Yeah,
and how do you feel about that? Like as partners on Mixer who have a lot of questions that you don't know, like you don't know what the future plans of Mixer are. I cannot imagine that being something that you're happy with, content with.
Well, I think the future. I mean, you're asking us to literally translate what we think if there's literally a future to Mixer. The answer to that is absolutely yes. I think we can expect. I think we can expect more cooperation between lots of game studios. I think we're starting to see a massive development and boom between Microsoft-owned studios, and I hopefully, and I'm gonna continue to voice this to Mixer, but being inclusive with Mixer streamers when it comes to those those Microsoft family of games, especially as they come out, because there's going to be a lot of new launches, new titles, and there's big opportunity for Mixer, and that's to piggyback on what Shroud says, a lot of that stuff we just simply have to wait for. Stability, all those things. They've never said directly, here, this is our plan, this is our roadmap. This is what's going to come out on this date, this date, this date. It's more like when we're having these meetings with Mixer and we voice these things, they say, thumbs up, heard, definitely feel you on this. And, we're looking into it and we're going to, try to come up with something that rectifies that.
Does that ever feel like talking to a wall? Or do you think they take action?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You definitely at times feel like you're talking to a wall. Definitely at times you feel like there's nothing. Like when I sit here and I look back, I take a big picture look at where Mixer was several years ago, especially right after Beam, and I've been having, I take a look at my backup VODs from way back then. I say, we've definitely taken great strides. I look at things like, the platform viewership. Is growth as great as we want it to be? No. There's been waves. Stability where we want it to be? Definitely not. But there's been waves. And we look back at things like E3 a few years ago when Mixer was just testing the viability of having 100,000 viewers, right? And and it was rough, right? But like literally the video would break. But these are those growing pains, and there's no concrete thing that Mixer's ever said that, hey, this is going to come out on this and this and this date. I think it's variable. It's very variable. Like we're going to see a lot of surprises, and we're going to see a lot of frustrations at the same time.
That's a completely separate topic, but regarding the inflated numbers and how that's a stress test or something that they said previously kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And because I've been working at my work, I've always worked with programmers very heavily, and a lot of my best friends are programmers, very, very smart people working, including in companies like Microsoft and Google and etc. And when I mentioned that to them, they said that that's impossible. Like, there is no such thing as a stress test. There is no such thing as a bug that inflates the numbers. And if there is, their entire system must be really fucked, basically. And that worries me. That statement from the most educated people that I know worries me.
I disagree with that.
right.
I think each company has their own tech, and
Yeah.
I think that they can only speak for themselves.
Absolutely. I think we just
I'm
lack
not
the
gonna try to-
information.
Yeah,
I'm not going to try to fanboy defend. There's a lot of things people will say. There's a lot of examples that other companies have made, and you can compare things. But Microsoft's platform is completely specific and unique to. I probably wouldn't be surprised if engineers had to ask Matt a question that's dated back a couple of years for
Oh yeah.
something behind the platform. So it's one of those
Absolutely.
things where you just.
I mean, I work in software development. That's what I do full time, and stream at night. So
Yeah.
I know the pains of what they do. And like I said, we know they're working on a skeleton crew. That's not closed news. Everybody knows that knows anything about mixers.
Yep.
They've had layoffs. They've got rid of teams and brought in new teams. The
Yep.
problem is when you get rid of an old team and replace them with a new team, or tell somebody they're moving to a new team to help out in this thing, they have to learn everything that other team knew before they can even start doing new
Absolutely.
stuff on the things that are broken currently. And it's a
Glad,
pain in the
man,
ass.
What do you think about a big topic has been a lot of people have been saying about how third party like AC Pixel and whatnot are releasing all these like tools for streamers, and that should be something that the Mixer staff has released. What's your take on maybe why they haven't done that, or maybe the work environment that is different?
Sure. So I follow him on Twitter, and he put out a really good post about that the other day, because he's like, man, I get asked this question all the time.
I love
Why are you
Pixel.
able to pump out all these features and Mixer can't? And he had the perfect answer. He is one person that knows his code inside and out. He knows something that he did over here and over there and fixed over here and patched over there. He can be like, nope, I know exactly how to make that work because I just built something over here, over there that touches this, that touches that works with this. He's one person, and he knows his own code.
There's less heads in the space.
There
and
is
Right.
got to be probably, if you look at it, any development team, like at least the one that I work on, there's 30 plus people
Yep.
that are all talking to each other saying, hey, I need to write this. Cool. What did you do over here? I need to know how that works with mine so I can make mine work. That they're just constantly got to do this. And on top of that, and I know it's kind of like the cop out for a lot of people, especially with a lot of development things going on in gaming and things like this recently, is this whole COVID thing that's got everybody staying at home does not make that easier. Regardless if you have Zoom, if you have Microsoft meetings, if you have this tool, that tool to talk to each other, it's not the same as walking up to a guy's desk
Yeah,
and
of
saying, hey,
course.
this isn't working. Show me what yours is doing that mine's not, that I need to make my tool talk to your tool.
Yeah, Martin said that too many chefs in the kitchen. I don't think it's a matter of that. I think it's a matter of, because you have so many people, you got, especially for coders, you got to write a lot of documentation. Everything, right? And so that stretches out development process on a lot of things very, very long.
And a lot of it, and I know from experience, doesn't get documented because you don't have time to.
Yep.
By the time you've written this one tool that this other tool needs, it needs your tool to work. By the time you've done making that, you've jumped onto another tool that needs to be made that's priority, and you forgot how you made that one, and you didn't write it down. So now the other guy behind you's got to figure out how you did it because you don't have time to talk to him and tell him how you made it.
that gives some insight that I think I definitely is definitely valuable.
My question following that would be, Ladman, why do you think that Microsoft doesn't just hire Pixel and what he's done and give him money for it, basically?
I mean, yeah, that's a smart play, right? Like, we could pitch that for today. Hey, dude, just hire AC Pixel. This dude's on fire right now, But at the same time, everything I just said is going to happen.
Well,
and then you're going to blame him for not making it come out fast
Hire
enough.
him,
Because
that
now
doesn't
he's got to
take
learn
away-
9 years of
Yeah.
code that they did bad.
That doesn't
Exactly.
take away from all the other people that are still working there. And if you bring in one person and say this person's now in charge, that's a morale blow to every single other engineer.
Hiring a guy that's not gonna make everything turn into magic. It's not gonna happen. Like what's gonna happen? The only thing it's gonna do is, if they hire him, is that one, he stops working on Pixel Chat.
Yeah.
And two, he's gonna be joining on pre-existing work that's that's being
already.
done over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But
he's
they
going
would be-
in
Gotta learn
not
their old
knowing what their
ways.
plans are.
They would
So,
be
like,
buying the technology that he's already done and implementing it within Mixer itself, which is what what I would look forward to personally.
No, that
Right,
would
and
be
his
great.
point right
but then
now-
at the same time, what he has,
Yeah.
and even though it seems from the outside as a user, because we're
Yeah.
users to his
No, it's
software
better
and his
for him.
development stuff, sure, it works great.
Yeah.
We don't know if what he has,
Yep.
theoretically speaking, you're saying, hey, let's hire AC Pixel and let's put everything he's made currently and throw it into the infrastructure of Mixer.
Yep.
He's pulling APIs from there. He's not in their infrastructure.
Right.
He's
Mhm.
pulling APIs out.
doesn't
and
have
pulling
access to that.
information. But
Right.
for him to say, let me take this and throw it in here, you want to talk about an explosion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would break it.
Mhm.
And like the whole point for him, like I think one point that he made too that was really important that we all forget is that he is one person. He works for himself. He does not have to bypass or get any sort of special permission for any project that he wants to do specifically. If he were to just be brought on board, like now he has to go through an entire hierarchy.
Microsoft
Even if they
approval,
thought what he
all
does
of
is
that.
cool, he's
Yeah.
got to go through all that hierarchy now to actually get done what he wants.
What I
Mhm.
think too is if they know that he's hired too, like if they did hire him and they do bring him on board, people are then going to direct their Mixer issues at him.
Yeah.
And that's not good either. It's
Right.
like, you know,
Right. Well, now you're the poster boy for all of the the streamers that think you're gonna do some holy work over here and flip things overnight.
mhm.
You know, and it's
Puppies.
that's simply not the reality. You know.
Puppy.
I think that's I think that is a big problem. Like, I feel like a lot of the issues that we have right now, as just like a community in general, is like we want the sense of instant gratification. We want to catch up so badly to the rest of the industry that we just forget that we can't rush a good quality product.
Oh,
Because you can't send it out half baked.
question.
No, because
Exactly.
that could be more detrimental
Get
to.
frustrated when like features on Mixer, like when
Mhm.
progression rolled out and had bugs and people's chat levels were getting deleted. Like people get more upset when things are half baked.
Oh yeah. I mean, the simple thing is this: the Mixer just needs to stop releasing new features, iron out everything they have, and
Don't reinvent the wheel where you don't have
or-
to.
Yeah.
they really just need to fix this whole resub issue thing.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
You know how
What's-
many
what's
you
the
know how many
resub
people
issue?
have lost resubs
Resub
based off of resub count,
Yes.
resub streaks,
Mhm.
right? They
I have a
you-
mod who has 1 extra month of sub somehow.
yeah. What is up with that? It was like there was like a
Favoritism.
6-month gap,
He has a
and now
sub
we can
that's
see into the
longer than I've been
future.
partnered. Yeah, he has a sub that's longer than I've been partnered.
Yeah. Like,
Hey,
I'm like,
I know you guys are going to resub to me for another 6 months, so I'm just
Do it,
not going to
guys.
stream
Yeah,
until
Yeah, no,
next year. Yeah,
I'm not gonna stream until it's 69-month resub.
And that's the whole point. There needs to be trust. There needs to be trust in our platform that everything is going to work the way we expect it to, especially when you're dealing with money.
right.
And I think that's a
numbers.
big problem.
And once again,
Yeah,
we come
and
to the
numbers.
number issue.
I know viewers who
You just
have,
want honesty.
I know viewers who have paid for Embers and not gotten them. I've known viewers like getting their
Happened to
credit
me.
card locked out. Like it's in order for viewers to embrace the monetary culture on Mixer, they also have to be sure that their money is going to the streamer. They also have to be confident. Like just answer me this: you gift subs on Twitch. Are you worried that your money isn't going to the streamer? No, because it pops instantly. It pops instantly and it works. Whereas like I know people like sometimes even like my dashboard doesn't update for like an hour or two. Like it's the reliability of being able to see everything in real time as it's happening and be sure that like this is working, everything is working.
Transparency.
And I just think what most Mixer partners want and what most of us want is just a reliable working site that functions properly.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're not trying. They are trying. As much as we're making it sound chat that it's like, oh man, these guys are dumping all over Mixer. That's not true.
No, we're not. We're giving
We're simply
constructive
saying what we
criticism.
think is wrong, what should be fixed.
Yep.
They try their damnedest.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that they don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to go back to another comment that Harry Scheller had on his video regarding each platform for streaming. He said that Mixer isn't doing anything to fix this. And this is a common thing that people outside of Mixer believe. Like people from Twitch, people that are not like on Mixer all the time, or even Mixer that people that are on Mixer but not very often, they truly believe that Mixer isn't doing anything, and that goes back to the communication issue.
Yeah.
And how do you think that
Right.
can be resolved?
I mean,
Yeah,
can you blame anybody for having that stigma though? I mean, for instance, we've been saying things like, can we get the clipping system fixed because you have a third-party clipping system that does better than the one you have.
Yeah, I don't think the frustration from people is misplaced either. I think that it goes both ways. I think that there's definitely things where we're like, okay, yeah, they're working on these things, but I think that there's also things where we're like, it's been a year since we've heard anything about this, or it's been 2 years and we still don't have clips for everybody, or it's been like it's the basic things. Like clips should be for everybody on Mixer right now.
Yep.
Agreed.
And because I think you have to, because here's the thing. As a non-partner on Twitch, you can get an affiliate sub button right away. You can get a sub button. You can do all of those things. You
can make it to the front page of LSF.
You have options. You have options. You have arguably as many options to monetize on Twitch as an affiliate as you do on Mixer. And so what is gonna motivate people to switch and start streaming on Mixer when they don't have clips for everybody? They get embers, but the features for limited. So,
I mean, if you're looking at all the features, if without that, really the only reason someone would want to stream here is because they love it, because they love the platform.
And I think that Harris Heller did bring up that he said that as a positive, Mixer's community is great.
But I would also argue that every community would be great when it's that much smaller. I mean, I would compare that to MMOs, which is what I'm most familiar with. I've played MMOs my entire life, and when you enter an MMO in beta phase, closed beta, early access, that is the nicest community the MMO is ever gonna be. The longer the MMO continues, the more toxic it becomes over time, and I have no doubt that any platform over time will reach that point where it's toxic, but in the very beginning, it will always be positive and good and great for making friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's inevitable. That's something you can't control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and like people keep blaming. The thing that I can't understand, the thing that I can't agree with, is people saying, "Oh, all of this toxicity is coming from Twitch." It's not. Toxicity exists wherever.
It comes from your heart.
If toxicity comes, it means that we're growing. If you see toxicity, that means we're growing. Something like, you know what people say? If you have someone that hates you, you've grown. Right. You're doing something right. Please don't hate me.
Well, the important thing is to support the streamer.
Support.
100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mixer does kind of, cater towards the more, they try to make it not family friendly, but they try to get rid of the negativity. Well, I think that's a good word for it. They try to get rid of negativity.
Yep.
I mean, for instance, they have they have Catbot. Everybody loves Catbot, right? Yeah, Catbot.
Has a cat on the name.
It's drunk like 95% of the time.
You can't even shut it off. It's just always there. You can't do it. You can lower it all the way. But if you want to have that kind of environment where, you're dropping F-bombs all the time and that's just the way you roll with your channel because 18 plus and things like that, it's there as a safety net, but the safety net restricts you, makes you think that you can't stream the way you want to,
Do you feel like Mixer admits when there is something wrong, or do they try to hide it behind the wall?
I don't think they hide it.
Okay.
I don't think they hide it.
I just don't think they know how to address it sometimes.
I don't think they're actively going out of their way to hide it.
No, I don't think they know. It's like they can't read our minds. Like they don't know what we want them to be transparent about.
Yeah.
And do you feel like there's a lot of people that do not speak up, especially publicly, about what's wrong with the platform, and they can't know that even more?
I will say this. I have seen recently that there are partners who are saying that people that criticize Mixer should have their sub buttons taken away. I realize this is a minority of people, but that's damaging.
Yep.
That's damaging, and it makes other partners not want to speak out.
They should have their sub button taken away because what that's doing is completely opposite of
that is not Mixer.
The requirements of what they, interviewed them for partnership for in the first place.
And I've seen it and I won't mention names because I'm never that type of person. Don't ask me to tell you who it is. I will not tell you who it is. But I can advocate. I can advocate from a community's perspective that if you're taking constructive criticism as shitting on the platform and you're saying that people should be departnered for speaking about issues that are important to them, that you are part of the problem. You are. You are part of the problem if you think that anybody should be departnered for speaking their mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
and we have
I mean, if anything, let them like, you know, how no matter how toxic they are about it too, if they're really bad about it, about a move or whatnot, they go to Twitch or whatever, and they end up coming back. The only asshole that's going to be around is you calling them out for coming back, but we should be welcoming them back. Why they explore the opportunities and options? That's a business decision.
Yeah, I've seen people leaving from Mixer to Twitch, and I've seen people attacking partners for leaving Mixer to Twitch. And I'm like, if people want to leave Mixer and go to Twitch, you should be happy for them. Because honestly, being more toxic when someone leaves further solidifies their reason for leaving in the first place.
Yep.
And it's only
people are scared to talk about moving in between because they're scared of the feedback, and that's the problem right there.
Yeah, and I moved from Twitch to Mixer. I didn't get any hate when I moved from Twitch to Mixer, but I have seen a lot of people getting hate for moving the other way back.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's the Mixer that I know. I know that, like...
But that's a Mixer we're trying to build. Absolutely not.
For leading members of the community. And I'm like, how can you preach these Mixer values, but then attack people in the same breath? And I can't support it.
And that's where when I see that, I try to make a point to say, like, that's not a good representation of the platform as a whole. Like, don't take the word of one person, one vocally negative person to like let that reflect how we actually view their own personal move. I think a lot of it just stems from that that person's insecurity of like how they see the platform and what they want for the platform.
Well, and I do think a lot of partners are worried that if more people start leaving that it makes Mixer look bad. But I think people have to realize platform moves generally
happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Happens in waves. Happens all the time.
People leave platforms and switch platforms all the time. The less of a deal you make about it, the better that it honestly is. Like,
I think you bringing any attention, even like especially negative attention, just
most of them are doing so in a quiet announcement. They're doing things professionally, and I've seen people be happy. And attacking people for leaving isn't going to make them come back.
Yes,
it's not going to make them feel welcome to come back.
And we have in chat Shake a Wolf over here, who I believe was a Mixer partner who moved to Twitch. And thank you very much for being in chat and voicing your opinions. I really appreciate it. And she did say that she feels like she's scared to talk even now, even after her badge has been taken away. She feels like she's scared to talk. And
she got her button taken away earlier today by her request. She is no longer a Mixer partner.
Can I just speak of this from kind of like a cultural problem that comes that affects people emotionally when you have that kind of positive reinforced positivity that you feel like you have to upkeep as a partner, something that is, being a streamer full-time is a very, very, very stressful and unreliable job. I want to preface that it is one of the most unreliable jobs in the world. You do things that you didn't think you would. You would change as a person in order to get paid that month, to get money. So a lot of people would change their entire behavior, their entire mindset, and their entire things that they do in order to be more Mixer friendly, because they've made it clear what kind of people they want to support on their platform. So people will naturally try to fit into that box, even if they don't necessarily fit into that box by default. And what that does, it builds up inside of you. It builds up that kind of repressed kind of personalities trying to come out, but you can't do it because you fear that you're going to lose your money by doing that. You're going to lose your partnership by doing that. And what people do is they take it out on other people that are doing what they cannot do. That's how I see it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
I feel you. I feel you.
And can I just take a minute to say how constructive I think this conversation has been? And this is one of the most constructive conversations that I've probably ever had about Mixer with and people with differing numbers, differing backgrounds, differing experiences, differing times on Mixer. And I just want to like thank you guys for being like, this is really constructive.
Yeah.
I know that's a hot topic and I was kind of nervous to do this in the beginning, but like I think this is a really constructive conversation, and
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we're doing this.
It was overall very positive.
I agree.
Like regardless of what your thoughts are on Twitch versus Mixer versus streaming versus whatever.
Yep, this is how adults solve shit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Learn,
Twitter,
kids.
take notes.
Learn, kids.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids,
and I think it goes like, I think I speak for all of us when I say no matter where we are in 6 months from now, in a year from now, no matter what we choose to do, and no matter what, I think at the end of the day, no matter where you stream, you still want Mixer to succeed. I don't think there's anyone
that needs to.
I don't think there's anyone, and this is maybe the minority. There's nobody that's leaving Mixer right now that wants Mixer to fail.
Yeah.
No one is leaving Mixer to Twitch and saying, "Gosh, I hope this sucks."
Because healthy competition is good.
I would extend that to everyone. I would extend that to any other streamers. I would extend that to Twitch streamers, YouTube streamers, Facebook streamers, whatever you're streaming on. Mixer succeeding will benefit you. It will benefit Twitch streamers. It will benefit YouTube streamers. It will benefit everyone to have that kind of variety. I mean, I would make a reference to Epic Store and Steam, but it's too soon to say where they're quite staying there, but I feel like it's a similar thing. Holy fuck, thank you so much, Zarners, for 500 embers. And I think there will be a VOD of this on my YouTube channel. And this is the time, I think we have about 20 minutes to answer your questions from chat. If you have any questions right now, we've covered everything from my document, which is amazing. I didn't expect to cover everything. But chat, this is your moment. Holy fuck, we're on the
background in my head now, thanks.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, I didn't do it.
I don't do it.
That is.
You're rad, chat.
I have no idea.
Nah, miss, I disagree. I think his mustache has a 6.9 KD.
100%. 100%.
Can your mustache come play for me, please?
Gosh.
Thank you,
Right.
chat.
Oh.
Rad chat. There's constructive criticism and
Yeah,
constructive criticism is always better than letting your emotions take control of too much.
Why are the partners not attending and speaking up but waiting? I feel like the partners are, I'm saying that as a non-partner, but I feel like you guys are stepping up, but not publicly. You're doing it in your chats with Mixer.
For that exact reason, because when people do speak up, we are told we are shit talking and should have our sub buttons taken away. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say
it's just the kind of culture that Mixer is growing to have.
You shouldn't be hearing that from your own partners.
Yeah.
That's why. It's not an issue of like partners like NDA and rage posts. We never said we condoned any rage posts. But I'm literally telling you that people are making constructive criticisms that are not rage posts and are still being attacked.
Yes.
Yep.
That is what we're talking about here. And people can bring up these rage posts, these things, and all the NDA and stuff like that. That's not what any of this is about. That's not why these people are upset. These people are upset because they are voicing legitimate problems and they're being faced with backlash.
Absolutely. And it's backlash from people on the platform itself, which will ultimately end very badly if it's not
backlash for people
addressed.
On Twitch. It's not Twitch people that are doing these bashing things. It is people who have experience with streaming on Mixer and people who are voicing legitimate issues.
Yep. Absolutely.
I just want to say, like, to all the non-partners that do speak up, first off, thank you. And second off, like, the people that fight you are honestly in the minority. Like, I can tell you that most of the stuff that I see, I 100% agree with. As long as it's not being as long as you're not attacking and as long as you're just voicing legitimate concerns, most of the people that speak up against you are in the minority and they just sound the loudest just because they're frustrated for whatever reason. I don't know.
Trash.
Because
I'm not even playing a game.
they were forced to
idiot.
eat pineapple on
Fuck outta
pizza.
here.
Like, I'd be mad too, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, somebody let their child get on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Man. Mixer trolls are so cute.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm not gonna. I don't like to point fingers at the people that
Yeah.
shit talk the
Done.
people that are trying to constructively talk about and make the platform better. But those are the same people that complained when the Sparks patronage went away.
Ooh, dropping it like it's hot.
Here's a question that is on my mind frequently. If Mixer keeps silent and stagnant for too long, will the big names stick around after their contracts are up? And what will that look like for the platform?
Right now, as of right
know.
now, I don't think any of them have any incentive to stay after the contracts are done.
I agree.
I think you're right.
There's nothing holding them. They got paid to be here for a certain amount of time, and then there's nothing that says they need to stay during that time after.
Especially if they come here trying to bring the knowledge that they gain from Twitch to help our platform, when they are also feeling ignored, that's where there can also be a problem too. That's another reason
And it makes
they
me
might not stick around.
wonder if those people feel like they're contributing and their feedback is being addressed, or if it's not.
That is a good question, because if they brought them on to make the platform
only they
better,
know that, right?
yeah,
only
we don't.
they know that. We don't read their minds. We can't read their minds.
We don't know that, but if that is the case, I would be very concerned about Mixer if they don't listen to like the big names that they brought in. If they're giving them wisdom and they're not using that, I would be very concerned. I hope that's not the case.
I feel like to some extent, some of them, at least like for Goth, like he was brought on to be a consultant. Like he spoke of that in his announcement video that he was coming to Mixer to give feedback and to make change.
Yep.
So
And if you look at
like, he seems happy, but
yeah,
I think I think you have to look at it from a different perspective. Like, one of the things that these guys are brought on for is not just to boost viewership. Everyone assumes that, because they brought on Shroud, because they brought on Ninja, two of the biggest names in Goth and whatnot, that the mission for them is to drive Mixer's numbers up to compete with Twitch.
I think a lot of people think
I don't think that's the case. I think there's a longer running strategy that, like, I think after their contracts are over professionally, they'll probably go back.
Yep.
Because that's where their core community has always been. And one of the things that they got to keep up with is the consistency and income of what they've been making and whatnot from their personal financial standpoint or whatnot. So I personally think that, if they do go back, they're going to go back for those reasons. And that's purely on them, and that's totally okay. I think we have to look at it as one of those things where I personally believe that that one, it's a bit of exposure, which is important, and two, it's a bit of just bringing even if it's a little bit, those communities over here for feedback and to adjust and scale accordingly, because they're still the biggest streamers that we've ever had on the platform.
Yeah.
And in the long run, Mixer's I don't think Mixer's ever going to be as big as Twitch. I really don't think so, but it's going to be unique. And in the sense of unique, it's going to be home for some. It's just not going to be a place for all, especially in terms of massive scalability.
And we have seen people with contracts leave before.
Yeah.
We have seen people with contracts leave before.
Oh yeah.
Kevin went back to Twitch. K Magic 101 went back to Twitch.
Jobless Garrett
and Punjastick went back. Like,
For me, my hope for Mixer is to become the gaming platform, because Twitch is forming to be the just chatting platform. And I see the future of Twitch being less focused on gaming and more focused on just chatting and whatever drama they brew in there. And that's fine because it sells, it brings them the numbers. But I don't see that ever happening on Mixer. I think Mixer's best bet is to become the gaming focused platform.
Yeah.
I think it has to do something to definitely make itself different. If it's just another Twitch clone, like there's really no reason.
We don't want to be Twitch light, right?
Yeah, we don't. No.
We want to be Twitch light. We don't want to be
your own thing.
And I sometimes do worry that the pushback of we don't want to be like Twitch because we think Twitch is negative, so we want to go hyper positive, ultra positive, only ever positive, as a reactionary response to what people's perception of Twitch is. And I understand when people come from this whole like Twitch toxic thing. It's not 90% of the broadcasters. It's just not. It's not. Like I said, I have
It's not
friends
even
who are Twitch partners. Husband
even
is a-
when drama happens between Twitch
focus on the
streamers.
negative communities.
They're like they do it for clout, for attention, right? It's not personal, it's just business. Like, it's not like that drama is just all the time. It's not like they hate each other's guts or something. Jesus.
Yeah. Like, I think that people really like to focus on the negatives for things,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to Twitch. And I think that this, like, I think there's definitely, like I said, there's hate on both sides, but like,
Yeah.
it's dumb. Like, and you can say whatever you want about like moderation standards, things like that. No platform is perfect. Twitch
Yeah.
makes mistakes. Mixer makes mistakes. Facebook makes mistakes. No one here is excusing those mistakes, but we have to admit that they do happen.
I just hope that my hope, and I feel like I share that a lot with people in chat or people who hope for Mixer's best, is that they are listening to you guys and they're listening to the partners that they brought on the platform, and they are working on whatever feedback you are giving them, because at the end of the day, these are platforms that are made by the people. Even in Twitch's past, everything has been made by the people. I mean, 4 years ago, even maybe 3 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, when Twitch didn't have just chatting, there was a rule that you must be playing a game in order to stream. And now look at just chatting. That is like the biggest, most highest performing, most fast growing category on the platform. And that was solely created by people going out there to play Pokemon Go and turning it into just chatting. That's what happened.
Well, and I don't personally, like, everybody has their own opinion on this, but I don't think that a platform like Twitch having more diverse content is a bad thing.
I don't think so.
I don't think that it's bad, because I think that it attracts people of all audiences, of all demographics, of
More likely for somebody to fit in somewhere. Like when you have more diversity, you have
you
a
everywhere.
welcome place for everybody.
There's
They
more
Which is great for viewership. Which is
Spider Luke, they did not fire Mixer staff in order to make money, in order to set aside money to bring in big names.
That's
Then
not
why did they, if you don't mind me asking?
My thought is that a lot of the staff that were let go were part of production shows. Not really on this. Yeah, not really on the engineering side of things.
So they're basically
mainly-
restructuring.
It was kind of a restructure, I guess.
Right.
there's been something in their contract again that we don't know, because a lot of it's speculation.
Yeah,
Right.
it is all
Right.
speculation. We don't know
It
this.
is all speculation. But
Yeah.
So Mixer had a PlayStation show, they had a Nintendo show, they had an Xbox show, they had all of these original programming, and most of the staff that got let go was from that original
programming team. Yeah.
I see.
It was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people go on this whole like tirade that it was engineers, but like, show me the facts, because for me, everything that got cut was original programming. That's what I saw anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I saw personally. Was that we have less web shows than we did before that were basically created by Mixer for Mixer. Like other shows like the Level Up Cast or the Mixer Replay show. And I mean,
I know engineering. I know engineering was let go too. There was some
Different
things
reasons,
done.
though.
Yeah, there was some things done on the engineering side. I do know that for a fact, but I think that may be attributed traditionally, and this is speculative. I think that may be attributed to outsourcing a lot of work.
and all we can do is speculate because we don't know. The simple answer is we just don't know.
And that is the
Just
answer
like
to a lot of questions.
Yeah, and that's like why I kind of wish, like, it's nice to talk about this and to debate, healthy debate, but it would be nice to actually have like either a roadmap or something directly from Microsoft or directly from Mixer to kind of dispel so many rumor mills.
Yeah,
like that's the
What's your plan a year from now? What's your strategy? Because
we don't know if that's possible.
I think a lot of people, like, you can focus on your stream as much as you want, and like I think we're all very focused on how we're going to grow our streams.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to know, what is Mixer going to do that is going to help us to grow our streams? Because I've always said this, and people are always quick to point this out. It is not the platform's job to grow you, but I think it's a fair expectation to have a platform that helps you meet those goals by being functional.
Yep, absolutely.
And I know that Cabby's a big proponent of that as well.
It's frustrating. I know it's frustrating. It's tough because, you know, on the flip side, we have like an outstanding partnership management lead that is really, really good, and does a great job listening. On the other side of that is like the invisible people all the way up, you know, up the chain of command, so to speak, that makes these big decisions. And for them, it's all about numbers, right? Well, I can guarantee you this little, you know, this talk show, which, you know, Cat Life is doing a fantastic job of, by the way, would be a lot more impactful, and you know, staff would 100% be listening if you added 2 zeros at the end.
Yep.
You know, it's one of those things where like the numbers are what matters to some people.
This is still like top of the web show. This is
it's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
Show.
Oh, I have a question.
The numbers that you have right now are huge for web show. They're huge. You have more viewers right now in web show, Cat, than
Oh, please don't tell me. I don't look at the numbers.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
1,900,000.
You have more viewers on this web show right now than there are in the other 95% of categories on Mixer.
Because people want a good, healthy conversation about
and
things that they care about. That shows that you care.
Here to provide. I love it. I love playing the host.
And I'm really sad.
Go on, Miranda. Go on.
Miranda.
Go on.
Wait, this is kind of digress. Like, I have another separate question. So if you have a thought, I just really want to follow up after this.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Just okay. All right, I have a question. So Twitch has changed their like the way their directories work. So basically, this is something that was not the case when I left 2.5-3 years ago. That I think is a really cool idea, but I wonder if Mixer would benefit from this. And if you go to directories on Twitch, they don't base it off of like the descending, like the highest viewer count is at the top and then the lowest is at the bottom. It's kind of like there's a bunch of different types of streams of all different
that's recommended
viewerships in there.
Yeah, recommended.
Recommended is a new feature that works very well, and I dare say it works especially well for female streamers. I would like to point that out. If you want more information on that, Devin Nash has made a research, and there's a video on his channel about it, or at least should be coming up soon.
Watch it.
Yeah,
but you're not talking big female streamers. You're talking smaller, starting out.
Yeah,
female streamers.
because the way
starting out,
the way the algorithm works currently, the way the recommended system on Twitch works right now is it takes people. If you, are you pointing? Are you poking Barry?
I'm just petting. I'm just yeah.
Are we all poking?
Sorry.
Your hand is not on the cat. I will tell you that. Well, your hand is on a cat, just not the cat.
The cat, yeah. So when you watch a stream, the people in that stream follow other streams, and you'll get recommended these other streams that the same people in the same stream follow. And that works extra well for female streamers because people who watch female streamers watch other female streamers. And it's normal. It is how it is.
It's an overlap of interest.
And it is easier to find more female streamers than it is to find someone with a niche. For example, if you follow someone that is playing an RTS game, chances are you're not gonna get recommended more people that are playing an RTS game, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's the fault of the recommendation.
On Mixer, I'm recommended people on my front page on Mixer that I'm already following.
Yeah.
I should not be being recommended people that I'm already following. I should be being recommended people that I'm not following so I can discover more people.
Yep.
Maybe that's just me, but
absolutely.
I think that recommended should show you streams that you should watch.
Yep.
Not show you streams that you're already watching.
Well, if there was like a really cool like filter system, I think that'd be cool too.
I hope that
in your follow list.
I hope that the recommended people on the front page are not just partners, because I have not seen a single non-partner on there.
I have seen maybe one. I don't know. I don't know because everybody's homepage is supposedly different. So I don't know.
But I only see partners on it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. Any other last minute questions in chat before we go?
What was that? There's one from Langston there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about host culture. That varies people
that's
who
a
are
very good question. I want to know if host actually helps or not, because my opinion so far is that it doesn't. Prove me wrong.
No, I think it does. part of it's the whole there's two sides to this thing. The host culture being like I don't really know you, and I'm gonna talk to a lot of people, and we're just gonna get onto this big train ride to like just host each other kind of thing. And then there's like there's like streamers, networking teams, and people supporting each other through a smaller circle because of fundamental networking, right? That's where it's that's where it's impactful.
Absolutely,
in a great way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not for the pay to host, not for none of that nonsense.
I'm with and
There's a lot of people that would host hoping that they would gain something from you shouting them out, which it's never gonna work that way. If someone is genuinely recommending you someone else, people will know it. For example, there have been situations in which I would host Brofish, and then myself and people from my community will immediately get subs, gifted subs, which is a desired result is these gifted subs.
Yeah, I should preface, this isn't people saying don't host other streamers. I see a lot of people that are saying, so you don't want us to host you, so you don't want hosts. There's a difference between an organic host at the end of your stream and an auto host which has 30 lurkers in it that don't talk.
Yeah, a lot of people are, some folks are saying, please don't host me because I want to see what my actual numbers are. And I don't think that... You have
your actual numbers in view list.
Yeah, you do have one, there's ways to tell, okay? And then two, I think it's... I don't think you should be looking down that route, because in the long run, in the long run, it's something that lets you know that people have added you manually in the first place. And it's kind of one of those things where like you're gonna fire and forget. You're gonna start your streaming. You're gonna do your thing, which is what you should be working on, not so much the numbers, what's real, what's not. Because what you want to do is you want to stream. Don't worry about what's real, what's not. And then after you're done streaming, when you're laying in bed, when you're hanging out on the couch or whatever, you pull up your VOD. You review your stream. How's your quality? How's your content? How's all that stuff? Do you like to press the shit? Like I often do when I start having bad days in Warzone or PUBG or whatever, right? So that's one of those things where you just review it, and don't worry so much about what's real, what's not. There's fake people everywhere. There's fake hosts. There's people that view bots. There's a whole world of unfairness and a weird, new shit that you don't even know about, like these weird pay to host things for like, hey, I host you if you follow host me or whatever, community things on Facebook or whatever. Right, auto host.
Or just posting certain people for the hope that like people will see that message in their chat.
Don't stress yourself out with all that. Don't worry about all that. It's all unnecessary stress that you should be taking that energy into your channel.
I guess the worry from those streamers though is that when they go to apply for sponsorships and such, that those sponsors look at their engagement and say your viewership doesn't match your engagement. That's where I think the concern of a lot of partnered streamers comes from, is they're worried that they're going to be propped up by auto hosts, so that when they go to apply for sponsorships, the sponsors see that those numbers are inflated and then they can't get sponsorships.
Yeah.
Cool. My 100% flashback on that is this, and I don't know from having that kind of prior experience of sponsorships in the past or anything, but I would always assume, at least this is the way I would think about it, if somebody's interested in sponsoring me and they're like, hey, give me your media doc, whatever you got, show me your numbers, blah blah blah, they should watch you at least once or twice. And if they don't watch you at least once or twice to see what you're all about, then they have no business even wanting to do that, because they don't know who you are. They looked at a piece of paper.
Well, I'm not saying that they're watching your streams and seeing that you're getting these numbers, but your chat isn't engaged reflectively.
I don't think most clans would do that. I don't think they will.
Yeah. Maybe it's from my personal experience, but
I think it's very, very niche.
Streams, but it's possible.
Very few. I think very few companies would do that, in my opinion. Maybe some indie games would do that, maybe like more dedicated smaller companies, but
and you're likely right. Like
viewership is always skewed no matter what. There's nothing you could do about that. You can ask people and you can make a statement, but I personally think that it hurts your brand more than anything. It's respectable. I totally respect if someone makes a decision to ask to be removed off of or disable auto hosting and whatnot. I'm not saying that you should participate in it. I'm not saying that, I'm saying that, at the end of the day, that's not, it should never be something that is a driving factor behind your content.
Absolutely.
Chat interaction is important for a lot of people.
It is.
And that starts with you. And it's, who cares if there's, 200 or 10, chat interaction just begins with you.
Yeah. And Langston is talking about from discoverability standpoint. Also, I apologize,
Right.
Langston. Catbot removed your message twice. Thanks, Catbot. I want to say that discoverability and long-term engagement are two different things, but I'm not probably the best person to talk here.
No, and it makes sense because initial engagement is one thing, but I saw earlier that Mitsu posted in here and said hosts are great, but at the end of the day, it is still the streamer's job to retain those numbers.
Absolutely.
And what
Yep.
you should be,
You
what
can
you
get
should
hosted for a billion people, but you need to also create content that'll keep
How
those
are
people
you-
around.
how are you retaining those, whether it's an auto host, a host or not? What are you doing to keep those viewers? What are you doing to retain those viewers? Because retention, as most streamers will tell you, is very important. How
Yeah.
much are you retaining? A host, I've always told people, you could get hosted by Ninja, but if your retention on that Ninja host is garbage, then like a lot of people think that there's this thing where like, oh, Ninja will host me and suddenly my stream career will be made. But like, it's up to you to make the content that makes those
Absolutely.
people stick around.
Well, in terms of those numbers being skewed and discoverability as well, it's important to realize that that's a fundamental problem with Mixer as well.
Yeah.
In the hierarchy of viewership versus discoverability.
Yeah.
So stronger recommended for you.
I see a lot of.
And I don't
pretty,
think that matters as much on Twitch because there's the recommended for
As
you.
the recommended for you tab.
I have a
Not sorted
question.
from top to bottom. If Mixer wasn't only sorted from top to bottom, I think you'd see people complaining about it less.
I have a question. Can we clarify? Is botting on Mixer against the terms of service?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where?
Because someone said it isn't. I want to clarify how
It is.
true that
in their
is.
TOS.
Wondering where it says that because I'm assuming it's in there, but
It's in their TOS, 100%.
yeah.
Especially after the whole when they got
Well,
rid of
I know
the 24/7
follow
channels,
for
it's
follow
right in that block.
I know follow for follow is.
But botting specifically is also against the term of service. Okay, good.
Okay.
To clarify that, good.
It's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah. If you see that, just report them, guys. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's
simple
all
as
you
that.
can do.
That's all you
Like
gotta do.
all you
Yep.
got to do is if you see
And
some,
if they don't do anything about it, report it again.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
sometimes they tell us all the time. They're like, stuff gets skipped over
Lost,
on
yeah.
accident.
But
They're
I
like,
will
if we make a mistake, report it again.
I will say this though, please do not witch hunt. Under no circumstances when you feel like someone is doing something wrong, should you ever be witch hunting them on social media or Twitter or anything, because all that's going to do is make you look hella unprofessional.
Yep.
And the Mixer's not going to partner you anyway if you look hella unprofessional.
Yep.
Don't look hella unprofessional. If you don't think that Mixer doesn't look at your social media before they partner you, they do.
What's a witch hunt? A witch hunt? A witch hunt is when you find somebody and you deliberately chase them down to prove that they're doing something they're not
And
doing.
you send other people after them as well, like your
You
community,
get a
for
whole
example.
group of people together and you all go after the same person.
Yeah.
How can
Also,
everyone
someone asked
partner?
earlier what retention is. So basically, retention is just like how many people follow your channel actually come back. Like
Yeah.
what's
What's your conversion
yeah.
rate?
Yeah.
You could get a host of 10,000 people, but if 2 of those 10,000 people come back, your retention is bad.
Yep.
Like that's the
Or like hollow follows, like people follow you but never come back. That's
yeah. So
that's
I
the
keep writing
opposite of a good retention. Like
it says how can everyone partner or not help progress the agenda of bettering the platform? I see too much clashing and headbutting with each other, which to me hobbles the platform's reach and intentions and makes us look toxic or petty.
We are doing
People
that
ask
right
us in many
now.
ways. I mean,
I think
that's why we're having this conversation,
Yep.
because we feel like there are people who are higher up that are making other partners feel like they can't talk. And I think it starts with Mixer partners leading by example. I think that it starts with Mixer partners leading by example, showing people like this is an effective way to bring constructive criticism, and then encouraging their communities as well to bring the same level of constructive criticism through the appropriate feedback channels. Bitching on Twitter, hating on Twitter, no. But should you encourage your viewers to give constructive feedback to Mixer on a regular basis? Absolutely, because that feedback is what helps to grow the platform and what helps to change. And honestly, I'm going to say this. Sometimes people's feedback posts can be misinterpreted as being upset.
Yep.
Think about it from the perspective of if you were someone who does this for a living, if it was your livelihood, if it was something that hits close to home, you may see it as hating and rage, but what you're seeing is someone passionate about what they care about and they want something to succeed. No, like you're looking at people who are desperate for change because this is their livelihood. And so I think before people jump on other people, let people criticize constructively. Let people make their posts. If they are hateful, ignore them.
Yeah, and remember that all of this stuff is normally happening on social media, like pretty more so on Twitter, and just it's really hard to interpret something a certain way over text, where grammar is a thing, punctuation's a thing. Like you just can't, you have to kind of keep a level head when reading things, especially when they go against your own opinions, because it's so easy to get fired up over something. And then that's where we have problems with people not keeping a level head and thinking about it rationally.
Yep.
They just see it as an automatic attack because they took it personally.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people take it personally and they're like, I see a lot of hate. And I'm like, well, maybe from your perspective, it's hate.
Yeah.
But maybe from the perspective of the person who's upset, they're just looking for a way to healthily vent what they're feeling because they have no one else to talk to about these sorts of things.
Exactly. And if you can't get past that, the mute button is a wonderful tool. Use it.
Yeah, you can mute people.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything all and mute them.
If you don't want to see someone's hateful posts on Mixer, just mute that person. You don't have to see their posts anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I think when we see like this, like, oh, people hate Mixer. Oh, people hate Mixer. You're giving more attention to the people that you say hate Mixer every time.
Only breeds more hate.
People hate Mixer. Like you're only it's like when those things go viral on Twitch or when things go viral on Twitter, the more that you talk about it, the more attention that person gets.
I'm gonna have a hot
You are
take here though.
inadvertently making it worse.
Having a viral content isn't necessarily a bad thing for Mixer right now. I'm just saying.
I don't think it is either. But
I also think that sometimes you have to make noise. If, for example, you are in that position, which I think they were hinting at, where you voice your opinions to Mixer and you feel like you're talking to a wall, nothing is happening, you feel frustrated, right? Then you take it in a constructive way on social media to make noise, and that's how you'll get a reaction that takes you, you know, if one thing doesn't work, you try the other thing. I would, in that position, I would make noise on social media if I feel like I'm not being heard.
But I don't think that most of the criticism of Mixer from partners on social media isn't, I think it's constructive. Yeah. Like, I think we're trying to be constructive. Like, if I wanted to not be constructive, I could not be constructive.
It just feels overall very defensive. And that's why we are being called out on being defensive, because all of it looks very defensive.
Yeah. I think it's okay to disagree with people's opinions without jumping down their throats.
Yeah.
Where's our train wrecks? Hi, my name is Cat Live.
Someone asked earlier, as a variety streamer on Mixer, do you think they will make changes towards the directory with games other than BR games? I think that's what they're trying to do with the smart recommendation system, that I think a lot of us are agreeing that it's not really working the way we would like it to.
Yeah. And I mean,
but I do think that they're taking steps to promote more variety, but they just need to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, and
they're just adjusting it.
Yeah. And I've been here 2 years. Like, I think that there's been a lot of like talk about growing variety on Mixer. I think personally we have yet to see it on a larger scale. I think it's definitely growing for some people. I think there's some people on Mixer that are doing really, really well with variety. Don't get me wrong.
Everyone here right now, would you consider yourselves variety streamers?
I'm very happy with where I am. But do I acknowledge that there are problems on the platform? Absolutely. I'm a full-time variety streamer. Most of us here are living proof that you can be full-time and stream variety.
Not me, I'm not.
But anyway, some of us here are, Anyway, so it's possible to be variety, but that also, like, my numbers wise, like, I'm happy, I'm financially stable, but do I think that Mixer still can learn and grow variety more? Absolutely. I think that people have to honestly think about, like, you may be happy with where you are as a streamer, but that doesn't mean that the platform can't also improve too. So I think a lot of people equate the platform success to their personal success, whether it be good or bad. And I think that, like, I may be happy with where I am, but I definitely see areas where Mixer can improve.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Okay,
Without
guys.
question.
Guys, we need to wrap it up. I think this has been one of the most very constructive, beautiful adult conversations that we've had, and I'll be happily uploading this on my YouTube this week.
Yeah. I'm really happy with how this went.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more salt and spice, but I'm happy that it didn't come around. And I think this has
we
been
can spice it up for you next time if you want.
all right.
Yeah.
Cabby,
Spicy.
you've been officially reinvited to this podcast. That is now a thing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. You did a great job. I like it.
Oh,
The
thank
vibes
you.
are good.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
Vibes are
you.
good.
Good.
Spicy.
Amazing. And all right, guys, we'll see you next time if there is next time. If you have any questions, feel free to send them over and we can discuss them if there is a next time. And thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your feedback. Thank you for all of your questions, and thank you to all of the Ambers. Thanks, Greylock. And thank you for all of the partners in chat and all of the other fantastic non-partnered as well streamers that came here to contribute with their issues, their concerns, and their opinions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You are welcome. It was a pleasure.
You are why we do
Absolutely.
what we do.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next